Okay, welcome back, everybody. Sorry for a little bit of a delay there, but we are back with the champion select, and it looks like we are going to be getting the Senna Tahm Kench in the bot lane here for Bandits. They are locking in that duo lane for the bot side. What do you think of that one, Gopher?
That's just a bot lane saying, all right, we see you have the Caitlyn. We see you want to do your little pushing thing. You want to poke us out of lane. However, we're sending Tahm Kench. We will out-sustain you and just kind of deal with all the poke you throw our way and just kind of survive through this laning phase, which can be very annoying for the Caitlyn. It's a bit of a boring lane.
Boring matchup in the bot lane. Caitlyn, of course, into the Senna. Both of those have a lot of range, a lot of the poke potential, and of course the sustain from the Senna, as you mentioned, is going to be very strong down there. Orianna also locked in here for OES, a scaling control mage there in the mid lane. As expected, that's generally the style that they do go for there in the mid lane. And as we move into the second ban phase here, we are seeing Syndra banned away, Morgana not going to be able to be picked up here, and we'll see what else these teams want to be taken off the table.
Yeah, a little bit surprised that Bandits are taking off the Morgana when they do have the Senna Tahm Kench, because Tahm Kench, very tanky, can usually eat up a combo of the Caitlyn trap plus Morgana binding fairly well, and will still hurt. Does have the Senna heals, and then if Senna gets caught up by that, well, you have the Devour. But it does, of course, deny Caitlyn some safety with that Black Shield, which can really screw over Tahm Kench trying to stun this Caitlyn, Senna trying to root this Caitlyn, or Hecarim just trying to, CC this Caitlyn in general. And I want to see how they're going to supplement this Caitlyn in the bot lane here for Oblivion Esports.
Yeah, of course, the Bard, they're going to be banned away as well, so that's another one of those stuns that combos incredibly well with those traps, as you said. But it looks like they are going to be going for the Nautilus, a little bit more of an aggressive pick, getting some engage down there for the support. You already talked about the Tahm Kench a little bit and how that does, of course, provide the safety with the Devour. So the Nautilus has to find the right targets, and for the Tahm Kench, his job is going to be denying that engage with that W.
Yeah, the Nautilus picks surprised me a little bit here, Lindor, because the Nautilus is very primarily single player CC focused, and that just makes Tahm Kench go, all right, I'm going to gobble you up. However, though, Bandits, they have quite a good pick comp coming in so far with the Ari, the Hecarim, and then, of course, the global and semi-global ability of this bot lane. So maybe Bandits, they're going to be looking for the small 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3 skirmishes around the map to solidify a lead.
We will look for that cross map play. Looks like they are going to round out the team comp here with an Ivern pick. That's something that they have played quite a few times here on stage, and looking like a comfort pick for themselves to grab up there.
Yep, and probably going to be the Ivern top with the current situation.
Oh, yeah.
Ivern top did crop up earlier this year and is still technically somewhat viable, but it has received some decent nerfs and has fallen out of favor, and is usually reserved more so as a counter pick. But like you said, Bandit, it is a comfort pick for them. They are going to lock that in, going to give them a lot of control, a lot of shields and heals. However, though, Bandit's composition, not exactly the highest DPS composition, which might result in some issues come the later to mid stages of the game.
Yeah, I was just thinking the exact same thing. And with that in mind, do you expect this Hecarim to maybe adapt that build? I know you talked about that tank Hecarim that, of course, we've seen rising in prevalence. But with the lack of DPS that they do have here, would you want them to maybe option for the Conqueror Hecarim with maybe a Divine Sunder or a more aggressive build type there?
Yeah, I feel like I would like to see a somewhat more aggressive Hecarim build here. Still keeps the phase rush though, because that rune is very strong, especially on Hecarim. Because this banded composition, Senna will eventually hit a point where she is able to be a fairly good DPS source, but it does take a while for her to stack up the souls for that, to get the items under her belt, and she still won't be matching the raw DPS of a Caitlyn, which can be an issue because if they aren't going to be able to shred through this Volibear on the side of Oblivion, that can be an issue.
Yeah, hopefully allowing that Hecarim with a couple damage items to kind of bridge that mid-game gap and let that Senna scale up to that late game. As we all know, with those souls can become an absolute menace with that insane range as the game continues to scale. But on the other side for OES, looks like they have some engage with the Nautilus, some team fight prowess with the Orianna, the Lilia ultimates, things like that. And of course, this Volibear up on the top side. A couple of buffs have been sent his way, and he's been feeling pretty strong both in the jungle and on the top side here lately.
Yeah, the one buff I believe was just to his W chomp damage, having a higher cap of damage to monsters, and that's what really propelled him back since he is a strong jungler, but you can still flex him to the top if needed, or he's a strong top laner who you can flex to the jungle if needed. It was such a big thing last year in season 10 where you would lock that Volibear in early. Prefer for it to go to the top lane, but if it's not looking like a good matchup, you send him on off to the jungle. Not going to be the case this game, and might have a bit of annoying time in this top lane since the Ivern top is known for just kind of being a royal pain in the butt if you happen to be one of these lumbering melee juggernaut tanks like this Volibear.
Yeah, Ivern really in the top lane does a great job of neutralizing the matchup up there. Of course, can shield himself, can hide in his bushes, and as you say, just be an absolute nuisance up there. The Q itself also providing some peels for himself so that the Volibear can't quite get on top of him and start biting his head off as Volibear likes to do. But taking a look at this draft as a whole, Gopher, who do you give the edge here going into game one after the draft phase?
I'm really favoring Oblivion, and that's more so just due to the fact that they have damage in their comp, sustained damage, consistent, and like you know where the damage is coming from. On the side of Bandit, you're thinking like Ari, she can kind of do damage, but not really. The Senna can do a lot of damage eventually, but needs time to scale. And then the Hecarim, well, even when you do go for the damaging Hecarim, you still mix in like some bruisery items, some tanky items, so you don't just fly in and instantly die. And that can be an issue, and it can rear its head the further we go into the game, which is why I'm favoring Oblivion here.
Yeah, you talk about how bandits need to scale to get that damage, but as they do scale, of course, those members on the side of OES, specifically the Nautilus and the Volibear, will get even more tanky and tanky as they get more items under their belt. The Ahri, as you mentioned, can provide some damage, but especially with the popular build being the Everfrost, it's more the utility mage style for this Ahri. Not really looking to one-hit anyone or anything like that, but can get things done with those stuns and the charm, of course, for picks and for utility in those team fights. We are going to see how things shake out as we head into the game, but is there a specific matchup in this one that you have your eyes on?
The bot lane, a lot of that's just due to the fact that, of course, an 80 carry main, so I like looking where I know. Plus, also Caitlyn's my favorite champ, so I will be biased. Aside from that, though, we do have an interesting matchup in the top side. I want to see how well this Ivern can control the lane here for the side of Bandits, see how Sizzle is able to make the magic happen, so to speak, in this top lane, because Bandits, they want to secure a bit of an early lead objective-wise and just have a tempo across the map and like some dragons, some extra gold, just to help them with some scaling to maybe patch up some issues in their comp.
All right, well, we will keep our eyes on that bot lane matchup and also see how things fare up in the top side. One thing to watch in the top side specifically is the Ivern. He does have that Q to try and prevent anyone from jumping on top of him, but the Volibear, if he gets his Q interrupted by any sort of CC, it does just get reset and he can just cast it again. So spacing is something that this Ivern does have to be careful of, so Sizzle should be aware of the fact that he definitely doesn't win that 1v1 if the Volibear does get on top of him. So has to be careful with that one. We'll also see where these junglers do want to head for. Seems like there's quite a bit of gank potential in each of these lanes with some CC to set things up. So where exactly are you expecting these junglers to kind of path towards? Of course, these are more farming-oriented junglers, maybe looking for the 6 camp clear and things like that. But if there's a lane that you'd like each of these guys to look for, what would it be?
It's kind of a hard call.
Yeah,
it kind of doesn't help that jungle is like my least knowledgeable role. I know junglers like they kill camps and sometimes show up in a lane, sometimes show up for dragon. Hecarim probably gonna be, oh lord, looking for probably, oh there I go, doubling up on probably. Gonna most likely be looking for a level 3 gank to try and get something going early after the first round of Scuttles. The Lilia, like you said, much more of a power farming jungler, really wants to hit that level 6, hit that lilting lullaby. But I kind of feel like this is something we might just have to wait and see how the egg cracks, how the cookie crumbles once we get into game.
Yeah, we will, of course, track those junglers as we head into this one. It looks like the players are ready to jump into Champion Select in the client, so we'll just be a couple more minutes here before we do get onto the Rift. But go for anything else you want to kind of talk about here before we do get into it. Maybe we'll take a short break as the players are just loading in.
I mean, Like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, these are both undefeated teams. We should be in for a pretty exciting series today here.
All right, well, we're going to start testing the waters here in game one shortly. But for now, we're going to take just a short step back, but we will be back to load onto the Rift. Don't go anywhere. We got a battle for first place coming up.
Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear. Driving towards the sun with a rose and a gun. Feel the wind in my hair, going nowhere I swear. Like an outlaw on the run, dangerous but it's so fun. Running, running, no. Hold on, don't let go. Running, running, no. Keep running. Running low, keep running. I'm running low, keep running. Like an outlaw on the run. Dangerous, but it's so fun. Running low, keep running.
Welcome back, everybody. We are on to the Rift for Game 1 here between the Bandits and Oblivion Esports Sapphire. Once again, my name is Lindor. I'm here with Gopherino, and we are ready for this best of 3 series. Jumping in here for Game 1. You got your eye on some of these rune choices, Gopher. Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty standard across the board, honestly. It is going to be the more damage-orientated Hecarim, which we did want to see, and is something we are kind of happy to see because if it is full tank Hecarim and you're relying purely on Slider for a lot of your DPS, that'd be a little sus.
Would be a little bit sus. But yeah, it is the Hecarim for T-Sizzle up in the top lane. Ivern going to be in the hands of Pastry this time. So we talked a little bit about that Ivern Volibear matchup. That is, in fact, not going to be the case here for Game 1. So we'll readjust our expectations for that one. It is the TP Ignite for this Hecarim in the top side. So should be looking to get aggressive, spam those Qs, and see what he can get done.
Yep. Whenever you see a lane Hecarim, the Ignite teleport is, of course, the classic. You like that lane dominance. Of course, it does always have the opportunity cost that you don't have that Ghost/Flash as a more defensive summoner in case you do get ganked, in case you do get camped. You're very reliant on the Onslaught of Shadows to get out of ganks, and that's, wasting your ulti to get out of ganks not always the most optimal.
Yeah, not always the best there, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Looks like the junglers are going to be starting on opposite sides of the map here. Ivern going for a bit of an interesting clear here, is already pathing towards his bot side, and Lilia is going to skip her Gromp, but I'm assuming this is going to be a standard 5-camp clear for the Deer.
That's Ivern always has interesting jungle paths just due to, well, he's literally unable to attack basic camps. You have to set up the little ring of friendship and then just coax them to go away and give you their golden EXP. And it does result in a lot of leashless starts. We can see that technically there is already that 2-camp lead for this Lilia, but that's soon going to be changed. We see, the camp's already harvested, already ready to go as, oh my god, top lane.
Yeah, top lane heavy trading happening. Epps already having to burn that flash to get away. Ignite was burned on the side of T-Sizzle, but definitely getting the better of that early trading.
Like, I know Hecarim can go aggressive early, but didn't think we'd be seeing this early.
We have both junglers arriving here in the top side. No flash for Epps. Is the root going to land? The basketball into the back. Going to try and get the shield as lightning does come down. Stun coming back through. Gets the W and the flash in from Data Master, but the first blood goes over to Bandits. No one else going to go down there, but bot lane we have a 2v2 fight as well as the level 2s do come through. Hook will land, but the Tahm Kench should be able to just walk away. Ignite is ticking, but no kill going to go through on the bot side.
Yep. That's the thing with this Tahm Kench Senna bot lane. Very hard to kill. You see there hooking the Tahm Kench. That would have been a very bad hook there by Bardo's support because he would fly under tower. Either way, though, we can already see Normac just kind of healing back on up. Has that fine and dandy good old Doran's shield. Also has the bit of extra sustain from Second Wind. We'll be getting biscuits soon. And there's always the piercing light from Slider.
Yeah, really just sustaining up down there top lane. Some aggressive trading from Sizzle is going to continue. He wants to get this wave shoved in and make sure that Epps is going to struggle to pick up some of these under tower, or at least hope that that is the case. But yeah, it is of course the fasting Senna down here, so doing her best to pick up the souls when she can, and the Tahm Kench trying to pick up some of that CS. You talked about his Doran's shield to try and prevent some of the damage coming through from those autos from Bullet Prince.
And things might change drastically in this lane after the first back. It kind of depends when and how big the first backs are, because Bullet Prince is able to get the lane prio in a very juicy first back to potentially get the just full on noon quiver to help shove the lane, help with the poke. That can mean a lot, but if it's an earlier back and Normak plus Slider are able to get some more sustain tools, whether it be mana regen or just CDR, that can also swing things a little bit back in the favor of the Senna Tahm Kench lane. Either way, this is going to be probably a pretty darn boring lane to watch it, even though I want to highlight it.
Yeah, we can see already Bullet Prince on this Caitlyn doing Caitlyn things, shoving the lane in, getting it under tower. For Slider and Normak, they're trying to do what they can to pick up some CS under this tower. They are struggling a little bit, falling behind just a slight bit. But of course, we do have to take into account the souls that they are collecting, and we will keep track of those as we continue to scale things up. Across the board, though, farm looking fairly even apart from in the top side. It's actually Epps with a bit of a lead already.
And actually, yeah, that's a good thing to bring up. We weren't really paying attention to that since the gank that we saw just a bit ago. However, it's kind of interesting since the Hecarim known for the early aggression. We saw that level 2. Maybe there was a bit of an issue with missing a wave or two due to the last death. Who knows? Either way, the results are the same, as we have a bit of a jungle boogaloo in this top lane. Don't think we'll see too much out of it, though.
Yeah, jungle coming top lane, round 2, electric boogaloo. Unfortunately for Pastry, does actually miss the Q there, so there's not going to be any sort of follow-up as he could have dashed to that route that landed, but it does go wide. So Data Master and Pastry just going to carry on their way.
And I like this trap placement by Bullet Prince. We're not really going to have too much else to talk about for the foreseeable future, at least until the junglers maybe hit level 6. Might see some action then. However, though, the trap placement really good. You're going to be constantly shoving this Senna Tahm Kench under tower due to their kind of lack of wave clear. So you just go ahead, bully them under there, limit their amount of zone that they can go to, as
Yeah, it's going to land. Trading coming through. The route is going to go through, but really, yeah, like you say, there's not a lot of kill pressure down here. Some of the autos hitting onto this Senna is looking a little low. Actually does have to blow the heal as the headshot comes through from the 90 caliber net. Data Master coming to join the party. Probably just going to try and shove this lane in, and maybe they'll look to transition this priority into some priority over that dragon. Ult's being traded here in the mid lane. Shockwave is going to land, but it's Yo-Yo Man going forward. Couple more autos might do it, but the orb missing, and he's not going to get a kill.
And I thought the Ignite would finish it, but Corrupting Potion coming in very clutch. That's a good hook then. Yeah, that's Tahm Kench for you. Either way, though, little bit of action happening, and just taking a quick look at the gold. This is going to be a big first back here. This Caitlyn with nearly 2,000 gold can look to pick up some pretty nice items. Pastry in the mid lane, though.
Yeah, mono check, procking that phase rush, and is able to get away. Use that teleport to come on back to the mid lane. But we do have Infernal Dragon as the first dragon here. We'll see if the bot lane priority that Bullet Prince and the squad have been able to obtain here is going to net them that first dragon. But so far, neither team willing to try and invest too many resources into that yet.
Yeah, we might see some schmoves now after this first back. We've seen that prio all lane, but now that this Caitlyn has the first back under her belt, has that control ward, has that noon quiver, might be able to set up some nice control to maybe look towards the dragon here. We do, of course, have to consider mid lane prio, how that's shaping out, because the aggression mostly coming from Yo-Yo Man in that lane, and Munchak having to play mostly defensive.
Yeah. Yo-Yo Man already grabbing up some Ionian Boots of Lucidity. Liked to get that ability haste early on. Should be going for that Everfrost. This is probably just going to be that utility Ahri that we talked about. Has been doing a nice job, as you said, almost grabbing that solo kill in the mid lane. Just the Ignite not quite having the damage to take out Monchek.
And the Lucidity Boots, a little bit interesting here. believe Aries typically favor the Sork boots, since if you're going for that Everfrost build, you are missing out on that flat pen. When you're missing on flat pen, that can make or break the difference with finishing off some of these squishies potentially. Although a challenger mid laner that I know did do the math between Ionian Boots of Lucidity and Sork boots, and Ionian Boots of Lucidity are cheaper and are more or less the same amount of damage, but you add in the summoner cooldown reduction up until a certain amount of haste. I can't remember the exact break point. I want to say it's about 40 to 50 ability haste.
Okay.
But hey, that's a lot of math.
Yeah, too much math for me, that's for sure. But what it sounds like is that those ability haste boots, oh my goodness, I can't talk, are a bit more valuable in the early game, but as they do scale, not providing as much value as, of course, the pen might provide. It is the Electrocute Ahri, so definitely looking for some of that burst potential, as we do see some jockeying over position here in the bot side. It does look like Sapphire have the first roam from the bot lane.
Let's see. Because we are finally starting to get a little bit of action in this game, nearly 10 minutes, and it has been predictably a very calm game so far. Nothing too aggro, all things considered. When you look at all the lanes here, it's not like, oh man, they're going to be constantly trading kills left and right. Not so much. Sizzle, though, going to be looking for a bit of scuffle here. Does get that nice little charge. However, though, the early Bramble Vest on this Volibear does mean Eps. This looks like cheese to me for some reason. App's gonna be able to come out favorably in that trade.
Yeah, and actually I want to draw everyone's attention toward Hecarim's inventory, because we thought maybe, oh wait, Dragon Fight, I'll talk about that in just a second. Looks like Oblivion wanting to start this one up. Daisy going to get the knockout flash away from Bardo support, does have to get himself out of there. This is going to be the ultimate over the top. The Dawning Shadow not going to be quite enough to finish off the 80 carry. Teleport coming in onto Daisy. Sizzle wants to join the party, and it looks like they have pushed Oblivion off of this dragon. They should be able to claim it for themselves.
And in an interesting turn of events, because we're talking about how big the prio in the bot lane was for the side of Oblivion. However, though, just eating too much damage there in that small little choke point from a little bit of burst, little bits of combos, the dragon damage racking up too, means that this first dragon, the Infernal, going to be going over to the side of the Bandits. They are going to be appreciating that. It's not going to be a noticeable DPS increase. However, though, when you are going to be running this fairly low damage comp overall, every little tiny smidgen of extra damage you can get going to be appreciated here, Lindor.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've already talked a lot about the lack of DPS that they do have. So, as you say, that little bit extra from Infernal Dragon might be the difference in some of these fights. But nonetheless, it is the first dragon over to the Bandits as trading does continue up here in the top side. It is Zeps now with this teleport advantage. So we'll see if he wants to try to use that for some pressure around the map. But with no objective now on the bot side, it might just be the waiting game here once again.
Yeah, I was just too focused on Eps there winning the trade, because Bramble Vest is a very, very cost-efficient single item for winning out on these sustained trades, especially against the Hecarim. And yeah, it's kind of racking up. Either way, though, still 1-1 here. We almost saw a kill there by that dragon, but everybody getting out with their lives. Like you said, Eps does have the teleport still. Never mind that Yo-Yo Man gonna be forced below the Spirit Rush here in the mid lane.
Whoa, going forward actually blows the flash out of Data Master as well. Nicely done there from Yo-Yo Man to try and turn that gank back around on itself a little bit there. But yeah, as you say, pretty much dead even through the early stages of this one. Exactly what we would expect from two teams of this caliber. Both of them playing a fairly measured early game here.
Yep, definitely a measured early game. Just had it quickly. Drop something out of the room for my roommate real quick. That's why I sounded so distant from the mic.
All right.
But yes, very measured. Rulers would be proud. There's a good hook, and yep, that's the Tahm Kench experience right there.
Yeah, we better get used to that interaction. We've seen it a few times here. You can't hook that Senna. Nothing is going to be coming of it because of that Tahm Kench. It looks like it is going to be the Herald grabbed up here for the Bandits. Pretty much uncontested there, so Pastry's going to have that one in his inventory. And we'll see where exactly he wants to use it, because so far for the Bandits, they haven't managed to grab very many plates here.
I mean, not really been many plates picked up in general. 4 plates in total across the map.
Yep. few down here in the bot lane, as expected in this Caitlyn matchup. And it does look like Yo-Yo Man has been able to knock one off there in the mid lane. We saw Pastry come to help him out with that one. But yeah, as you say, not too many coming through. They are going to be falling off in just about 20 seconds here as we see more of this trading in the top lane. T-Sizzle actually it does have to be a little bit careful. Gets the charge into the tower, but it looks like Epps wants to go for the dive, as it looks like Dynamaster getting caught out here as well. We've got action all over the map, Gopher. Look at this. It's absolute chaos. The Hecarim dies in the top side, but Datamaster with an ill-advised invade also going to be falling on the bot side of the map.
Yeah, Data Master, that's getting a little too greedy there, going for that invade, and does pay the ultimate price. Turns out Lilia, not the tankiest champion in League of Legends, and that was a great solo kill in the top lane by Epps. We had been seeing him win the trades consistently over the past bit, and finally able to get that one trade that does result in the solo kill, able to grab 2 plates, I believe it was, before those plates did fall. So a bit of extra change in the pocket is going to already have the Frostfire Gauntlet completed with that Bramble Vest. This Volibear is not going to be taking anything whatsoever, for the most part, from this Hecarim.
Yeah, should be feeling exceptionally safe up there with those first couple of items in his inventory. You already talked about the Bramble, and one thing to note actually was there was a bit of trading on the bot side as well, as we had kind of 3 fights breaking out there, and Slater down there did have to burn his flash and his heal, I do believe, to get away from the engagement down there. So I'm not going to have those available for the next couple of minutes.
See, though, because, I mean, it's still only 2-2 in this game. It is more or less dead even for all intents and purposes.
Oh my goodness, T-Sizzle might have just gone a little bit too deep. Has to be careful, but the lightning just gonna miss as he barely escapes there. We do have dragon spawning here in about 30 seconds. It is gonna be the mountain dragon, so we will have either the wind soul or the ocean soul here for game 1. And it looks like it is Oblivion already focusing this bot side of the map, looking to take control of the bot half of the river and try to get priority over the dragon pit.
Because I was just hovering over Sizzle's teleport timer, and his teleport is going to be about 15 to 20 seconds after the dragon spawns, which isn't the end of the world. But if we do see a dragon rush come out from the side of Oblivion, might mean he's not able to join. And also this Earth Dragon, when we're talking about how there is a lack of that consistent damage coming out from the side of Bandits. Well, if you have to deal with even just a little bit more tankiness, that can be a little bit of a small issue. Not going to be something that rears its head and ultimately ends the game, but it might be a mild annoyance, as it is the Ocean Soul, though.
Yeah, Ocean Soul is going to be important in this game. But yeah, as you mentioned, the teleport there for Sizzle not quite available, so they get Epps down to the bot side as early as possible and are able to just rush that one down and even up the dragon count to 1 apiece. And the Infernal for Mountain Soul trades kind of feel like it just evens out.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, technically, there's a debate we could go in, like, comp to comp, like, oh, well, this benefits this comp this amount, yada, yada, yada. But more or less, for simple purposes, yeah, it's kind of an even trade. Although the Ocean Soul is going to be kind of a big deal this game, because, well, low damage team comps, if they don't have the burst to get through an Ocean Healing, can be a massive game-ending issue. And for comps that do lack the damage, aka Bandits comp, they get that. That means they'll have the extra staying power to maybe get off the damage that they do need to win these fights.
All right, well, we'll expect high priority over the next few dragons here. The next one not spawning for 3 or so minutes, so we'll see if we get any action in between that. So far, really just a measured game for both sides, as we've already said a little bit. 2-2 is the scoreline, and the gold still dead even, Gopher. This is shaping up to be an exciting matchup.
You say exciting, but it's been very calm on the rift so far.
Yeah.
If you're into chess, this is like an exciting game because you're like, oh my god, the macros, the map movements. Oh, look at how they outplay it without sacrificing a single thing. But if you're the type of bloodthirsty, I don't know, checkers fan, I don't know. Either way, though, this is not the game for you. Very slow, very calculated, like you said.
We'll see. Of course, if this is just kind of some game 1 nerves, of course, this is a very important game for these teams fighting for that top spot and looking to try and come into playoffs as that first seed to get themselves the best matchup in those best of 5s for playoffs. But yeah, you're right. It has been a little bit boring on the Rift, a little bit slow moving so far. Hopefully the incentive of this Ocean Soul will be what it takes to get these teams into some of those 5v5 fights.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, probably not going to rear its head until about a dragon or two down the line when we're starting to inch to that soul point. Then teams are going to be like, all right, yeah, because giving up a single ocean dragon, that's like, okay, whatever. I mean, same thing as giving up these early dragons. They aren't going to matter too much, as we have a bit of a sausage fight in the top lane. Here comes
continued trading on the top. That's a nice route. Gonna land. It is going to be the Volibear jumping away with the Stormbringer. Is going to go unstoppable. Should be able to get away under his tower, but the dive attempt might come through. Daisy with the knock up. T-Sizzle going forward. Dawning Shadow as well for a little bit of shields, but it doesn't look like they're going to get too much here. They do have some time, but the teleport is going to come through from Monchek to protect his top laner, and it looks like nothing's going to come of the gank attempt in the top lane. Oh, flash forward. That's the charm. It's going to land. The damage comes through. Yo-Yo Man finds the enemy 80 carry. Bullet Prince is going to be seeing gray for the next 20 or 30 seconds as Yo-Yo Man continues to go forward. It's another charm. He's 2 for 2. The flash away from Bardo support, but the shockwave comes through. The hook lands on the tower. Lily is joining. That's the drowsing Monchek. Trades it back, and it's going to be Senna falling too. It's a double kill for the Sapphire mid laner.
The hubris of man there. Yo-Yo Man gets that second charm off onto the Nautilus, not able to finish off Bardo's support after that initial very strong, very great pick here. And in the end, you kind of lose more than you gain, which is a bit of a no-no, especially with the Bandit composition, which we have said time and time again, a little bit low on damage, and you don't want to be falling behind on this sort of composition.
Yeah, Yo-Yo Man had blood in his eyes, wanted to keep going forward, but Bardo had the flash to get away, and the damage just wasn't quite enough to claim that second kill. Nice collapse coming through, and we do have Dragon spawning in just about 45 seconds, so let's take a look at what our item spikes are looking like here, as we might see maybe our first team fight if we're lucky.
Maybe. Still got 30 seconds until this Dragon, though. Not even a Rift Herald on the map. Neither of these seems really well equipped to do a 20-minute Baron. So it's going to be a little bit of a chill pill here on the Rift, I guess, as teams suit up. Normac, though.
Oh, Normac. He has to be careful. Going to be stunned up. Shockwave for some damage. The whole squad is here. He is going to be taken out. Catfish goes down in the bot lane. Hook onto the tower. Nautilus wants the tower as well. They get it. And now their eyes are on this first Ocean Dragon of the game. Doesn't look like Bandits want to try and contest. They do have 4 members in the area, but a 4v5 here would be fairly scary for them. There is, of course, no Shockwave available. So if they can find the right engage, maybe there's potential. But so far, they're just playing it safe on the other side. Maybe going to look for a steal. Walking in here, Hecarim has the ultimate available. Dragon getting very, very low. 1500 is going to be smited away. This could be the engage coming through. Hook onto the Ivern. He's frontlining. That's not where you want to be standing. Now the teleport coming in for Normac as he wants to join the fray. Does have to immediately blow the flash. Charm lands onto the Volibear, but he is able to burn his flash to get away as well. Flash is burned back and forth. Ocean Dragon over to Oblivion, and that's going to be all we get.
And
or is
not
that
over yet.
actually Charm not going to land, but the Unstoppable over the wall is not going to land. Nom nom, eat up that Ari Keeper safe. Dawning Shadow onto 3 isn't going to be enough. The Yo-Yo Man goes forward. He finally gets that revenge kill onto the Nautilus, so it's a 1-for-1 trade as the extended fight comes through.
Keep in mind, though, because Bandit also gave up the Dragon for that. They don't realistically have the comp here to shred through this Baron if they do try it. They might. Okay, yeah, they aren't. But I really did not like that Bandit approach to the Dragon there, Lindor.
Yeah, me neither.
It was 4 versus 5, like Lee pointed out. They dilly-dally too long, going in too slowly, just opening themselves up to eat a fat Nautilus hook, eat up whatever fat CC is waiting for them. And might have been better spent maybe just pushing up that mid lane to get Prio, maybe getting Prio over the Baron with some vision, because you weren't getting that Dragon outside of your steal. They are able to get the 1-for-1, like you said, in that extended trade, but keep in mind, they got the catch onto Eps, and they weren't able to finish him off, and that problem might get worse and worse as the game goes on. We even see the Seeker's arm guard for this Volibear, so we might see a Zhonya's Volibear this game, Lindor.
We might, yeah, that, of course, it has some armor in that as well. The invulnerability could be nice for him, and We talked about the lack of damage. I mean, I know we're harping on this a lot, but this comp doesn't have a lot of damage, and the damage that they do have is mostly from the Hecarim and the Senna, so a lot of AD and a lot of this armor stacking coming through for Epps is going to be feeling pretty nice for him. We do have a 2-item power spike here for the jungle mid duo of the Bandits. It's going to be the Moon Staff combo for the Ivern, as well as an Everfrost straight to the Cosmic Drive here for the Ahri. What are you thinking about this build?
So Cosmic Drive is definitely a very efficient item, but this is definitely entering the point of overkill for that ability haste on this. All right, let me quickly check Yo-Yo Man. He is currently sitting at, where's that stat? Where's that stat? Oh Lord, I am ill-equipped to go through. Okay. Oh, they just don't tell you how much. Okay, cool. Thank you, Spectate Mo. But this is definitely getting to that point. You have 20 ability haste, 20 ability haste, but then an extra 20 ability haste on the Cosmic Drive. That's a lot of ability haste. We're talking about basically 80 at this point. Oh,
the fight is going to be breaking out here. Bandits going forward, looking for something to teleport. Is going to join from Epps. He's going to be onto the back line here with the teleport, but he's taking a lot of damage here so far. Chunks coming through. He's going to be eaten up, knocked down. Has to use the Unstoppable to get away, as it is going to be asleep on the front side. But now the Hecarim into the back line. He's going to be hitting the shockwave as one does go down. Hecarim now is in the middle of 4. Going to get eaten up as well. This Tahm Kench providing so much in this team fight, as it's another one falling for Oblivion. So far a 2-for-0 here for the Bandits. Are they going to continue this push? They don't have too many health bars. It's the ace in the hole going to get blocked up. Not too much of a problem there, but a nice team fight there for the Bandits.
Yeah, and the Bandits, it took them a while to get those 2 kills, but they are able to get those 2 kills. Monchek was not in the area to help. They were just able to have all that free fire time onto the
Oh my goodness, the Senna splashing forward. It's a double root. Hecarim is here. They want to continue the engage. There's no ultimates available, and Hecarim going very, very deep. Dawning Shadow with the heals is just in time, and they're going to continue the chase down. They find them all.
Yeah, when you have 3 squishies like that on low health, it tank Hecarim more than enough to finish them off. They're not able to compete with the heals, the shields, all of that obnoxious utility coming through from the side of the Bandits, and Bandits making this, as you kind of said, a very low damage composition that we have constantly talked about here, working out just thanks to all the utility that they do have. Getting this Baron is going to be such a huge game changer for them. It's got to put them definitely in the lead, definitely in the driver's seat. We have less than a minute till the next dragon here. They should be able to just control the map, set up for that dragon, and I really want to see some more Grievous Wounds coming out from the side of Oblivion here, Lindor, because these heals are getting a little bit obnoxious to deal with.
Okay, we do have the Executioners calling now in for Caitlyn. I think she just picked that one up, if I'm not correct. So that's they can hear you, man. They're going for it. They're grabbing some of those anti-heals. Yeah, Dragon spawning in 20 seconds. It is the Baron buff up Bandits looking to contest for this one. They don't want to give away the second, I guess, Ocean Dragon of the game, but the 3rd dragon for Oblivion. So they are in the area. It is the first to the rotation here. Oblivion taking control of the river for the time being.
Oh. There goes Daisy. Oh, yep, Daisy just instantly dying. And the trap line.
Caitlyn not allowing the enemy team in through there. Hecarim trying to clear out some wards on the bot side here. T-Sizzle potentially looking for a flank, but it looks like the rest of the team is going to be joining. And Daisy's back out. She just died. She is back, looking to try and provide some nuisance in this fight. Looks like she is just going to be going down again. Goodbye, Daisy.
All ultis are up except for the Dawning Shadow from the Senna, so that is one very key ultimate that is down. Look at that ball placement, just zoning off these Bandit members here, Lindor. The traps are still a little bit active in that top side if Sizzle does want to try and go for this flank. Oh,
here
wait, here comes Sizzle.
That's going to be the E. He's into the fight. Where's the rest of the team? Are they here for the follow-up? Shockwave is landing onto the Ivern. Now they're coming forward. Bullet Prince is going to take out T-Sizzle, but now Yo-Yo Man wants to go forward. Lands the charm onto the Ivern, or rather onto the Nautilus. Gets him down. It's 1-1 trade so far, and it looks like Oblivion are in full retreat. The chase coming here from the Bandits. They want to get more. Oh my goodness, the kill forced in from the Caitlyn. Now the flash from Normac. He gets it. Volibear trying to do what he can, but does he have the sustain? No, he does not. Slider takes the kill. Bullet Prince the last to stand, but it's all coming up for the Bandits.
And Oblivion just getting baited way too damn hard. They're trying to finish off quote-unquote low health members, but when there's a Senna, when there's a Tahm Kench, when there is a gosh darn Ivern, low health bars are not low health bars.
Yeah, really good execution here from the Bandits in game 1. They scaled up through the early game. They played things safe and measured, and now they know that they are strong, and they are just continuing to take these fights. That's their second team fight victory in a row, and they're going to even up the dragon count now, looking for that dragon soul themselves.
Yeah, and this is a very noticeable gold lead now, Lindor. It may only be one tower lead. It may be same in the dragon department. However, though, a 7k gold lead is nothing to scoff at. That is going to be a noticeable difference. That is going to be a difference that you feel, and these items are starting to come in for the side of the bandits here.
Yeah, speaking of those items, take a look at Yo-Yo Man here. He's starting to stack up those pages. He's got a library in his inventory, 18 stack Magi's for him there, and he's a high priority target for Oblivion to take out. He's worth quite a bit of a bounty there. Also want to take out some of those pages from his book, so we'll see if they can get onto that Ari.
Of course, though, we still do have more game to go. There hasn't been a base tower broken open. In fact, there's still a outer turret available to the side of Bandit to pick up in that top lane. And with all that said and done, that was a lot of excitement here, Lindor. But we have to take a look at the state of the map here. Despite the massive gold lead, objective-wise, this game is still dead even. There is still a potential time issue for the bandits if they are not able to get a definitive lead and end before they're unable to get through the pure tankiness that might arise from the Oblivion side.
Yeah, Volibear continuing to just stack this full armor, has the Thorn Mail Veil for himself, and we already talked about the Seekers, now has that stopwatch for this next fight. So yeah, as you say, just going to continue to get more and more tanky. The good news for the Bandits, though, is that their Ari is faring incredibly well, already sitting on 3 items plus her Magi's, and is going to be dishing out a lot of magic damage there.
Even though this isn't the highest magic damage build, since you are lacking on the flat pen, percentage pen, and the Rabadons. However, though, I don't know if you're looking at chat, but Slider on the Senna, pinging the passive just about a minute ago at this point, 122 souls. That is 750 auto range before any modifiers. And there's the Daisy being dropped down. We do have a Baron here in about a minute. So just a lot of posturing here for Vision over the river.
Yeah, good call out on that Senna. An insane amount of stacks, lots of range, lots of crit, and Slider already got that 2-item power spike plus a Zeal on this fasting Senna, so he is pretty much as strong as he's going to get. Of course, he will continue to scale with those, but this 2-item power spike for Senna is oh so strong.
And most notably, just the insane soul spike, because 750 base auto range is insane. That's a good bro. Yeah, root. That's a good charm.
Oh
and
my goodness!
Could even hand off you.
Nice pick off there. You already talked about some of the pick potential that this team does have, and these charms, they just keep finding their mark. They're going to keep finding their pick off. They are now 4 versus 5 on the map. Yo-Yo Man wants some more. He's going forward. Lilting Lullaby is available, but here comes T-Sizzle. He is swooping into the fight with the onslaught of shadows. Epps trying to go in, but he's going to be charmed up. He has to buy a couple seconds, but that's just going to be the die. 2 seconds later item. T-Sizzle still alive, eating some of these pop shots from Bullet Prince, but now Yo-Yo Man flashing over the wall. He is now on the wrong side. His team on the other side trying to provide some of those shields, trying to find some of those peels, but that's the charm onto the Orianna. Is it going to be finished off? Dawning Shadow, godlike for Slider.
And if you just let your members get picked off one by one, there's more than enough damage to get through them, as this is going to be the inhibitor turret now under siege. This is very, very scary for the side of Oblivion here, Lindor, because now your base is vulnerable. They have access to your Nexus turrets and potentially your Nexus. There's also a Baron on the map here that they can look to grab. There's a Dragon in 30 seconds too. Even if they trade Baron for Dragon, it's not the end of the world. It is going to be that sole point, but you will have that Baron. They will have that open base with that inhibitor, and the super minions just spilling on in. Bandits definitely very comfortable right now, Lindor.
Yeah, Bandits TPing back to this Baron. Looks like they want to go on it right away. No one from Oblivion is in the area. Monchek is just spawning and heading out of base. Datamaster is in the bot side jungle, but there's lots of vision to spot him out, coming for a potential steal here, and the Baron is already very low. Yeah, they have no idea. This is just going to be the second Baron going over to the Bandits.
Yeah, no real contest there. Dragon just spawning, but it's only Bardo support on that. There is the Tahm Kench Abyssal Voyage coming on out, everything that Arion in. It's not even enough traps really set up here, just that one trap in that bush, not even being able to take the scuttle. That is insane map rotations, thanks to that Tahm Kench, who's now sitting on triple item. Spirit Passage is going to be getting annoying with this, entire composition.
Yeah, really great macro, as you say, from the Bandits here. They teleport immediately to the Baron, realizing that they have time to burst that down, and then great use, as you mentioned, of that Tahm Kench ultimate to rotate immediately to the Dragon, not allow Oblivion to set up any sort of vision around that area, and they just take it down, getting themselves to soul points, and now they are Baron buffed up. They're ready to siege up some of these towers.
Yep, because they already have that hidden sixth member in that mid lane constantly pushing up. You got both these side lanes to focus on. You have to teleport on Sizzle to do that, side lane shenanigans there, or mid lane shenanigans to keep that up in case the enemy team does kill the wave and make it kind of push out a little, yada, yada, yada. Either way, though, with this double Ocean Dragon, with the items that have come in, the natural utility heals, the shields coming out from the Bandit composition here, Lindor, it's kind of hard for the enemy team, Oblivion, to really DPS through that.
Yeah, now that these guys have such a lead, it's over 10k now, almost 11k, actually over 11k now, 35 minutes in. Yeah, as you say, it just is so hard for them to live through this. And we talked about the importance of the Ocean Soul, and now with 2 Ocean Dragons picked up on the side of the Bandits, you talk about the sustain that they already have, but this is going to be helping out even more, sustaining through some of these extended team fights that we are seeing.
Because even though we do see the triple grievous wounds items come out and the ignite from Oblivion, it's not really enough with how far they are behind gold wise. Bullet Prince just isn't doing enough damage right now without the Infinity Edge. That's a great charm.
Oh, goodbye.
Yeah, nothing else to really say there. This is going to be another inhibitor tower. That's a great pull in.
Tower goes down. Bardo support goes down as well. Daisy running fearlessly at the enemy team. This is the Onslaught of Shadows. Caitlyn is going to be taken down. T-Sizzle grabbing that one for himself. It's his first kill of the game. The inhibitors fall, and the Nexus siege will continue. 30 seconds on 3 members here for Oblivion. Monchek has his ultimate. Eps is here. They want to look for a hero play. Shockwave onto 2, but the tower goes down. The bear's going to fall as well. Orianna stands alone. They're going to pad the KDA. They're going to take out the robot lady, and they will take out the Nexus. Bandits take game 1.
And even with the slightly wonky composition we kept harping on for having not enough damage, well, they're able to get enough of a lead where they do have that noticeable damage. That Senna able to get massive stacks here for Slider to shred through people. Yo-Yo Man, even though not the most damaging build, hey, when you get that 25 stack Mage Eyes, when you get that 9-1 and 10 scoreline, you're usually able to burst through anyone you really want to here, Lindor.
Yeah, Yo-Yo Man, I mean, I feel like his charm was a heat seeker in that game, constantly finding key targets to pick off with that one. So really well played overall for the Bandits, honestly. And looking to the side of Oblivion here, they're going to be on blue side for game 2. Is there any adjustments that you'd like to see them make, maybe in the draft or in the gameplay itself?
Well, probably get the healing reduction coming in sooner if you are seeing all of these sources of healing. Maybe having a more secure form of DPS, because we didn't really know it because we assumed it would be naturally the Caitlyn, but that Caitlyn not able to be enough DPS and kind of reared its head when you're not able to get through that healing. So I don't know. A lot of it may just be like, hey, try not to let that Senna Tahm Kench bot lane come through, since that is a very insane combo. It was locked in after we saw the Caitlyn lock in, and it is a fairly decent answer to said Caitlyn lock in here, Lindor.
Yeah, the Senna has classically been the answer to that. Caitlyn has some of the range to try and compete with Kate on that front. And I mean, you talked about the sustain as well through the laning phase that they really provide. That negates a lot of what Caitlyn wants to do in that laning phase. So a good draft from Bandits, and they're going to be walking away with a game 1 victory. We're going to be headed into game 2 shortly, and we'll see if Oblivion can take that one down and send us to a game 3. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, guys. Welcome back, everybody. We are all ready to go for game 2 of the series between the Bandits and Oblivion Esports Sapphire. It was the Bandits taking us down in game 1, but we'll see how game 2 is going to shake out here as we are going to jump into the draft in just a second. My name is Lindor. I'm here with Gopher, and we are all set for game 2.
Yep, and definitely was a long drawn out game number 1. There was a total of 4 kills by the 15-minute mark, so might be a little bit more exciting this game. Who knows? We kind of expected the last game without the drafts war, but probably going to be some small shakeups this game. I don't want to see too many panic bans here from the side of Oblivion, but they are going to be taking away that center, which definitely was a key thorn in their side last game. And Bandits, see if they want to change up anything potentially here in the bans and the picks, or if it's just a matter of, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I really like the Senna ban as you call out. It was the Senna Tom Kench really stopping the Oblivion bot lane from doing what they wanted to do down there. Tristana going to be banned away here again by the Bandits. Oblivion have some priority on that pick, and the Bandits don't play it themselves, so not wanting to let that one go through. We are going to see Rel hitting the ban table. I'm expecting some engaged supports here to be banned away for sure, maybe the Alistair and things like that. But yeah, so far really liking that Senna ban adaptation.
Because Senna definitely a very strong pick right now in the meta, although a lot of it last game was like we said, it is a mild counter pick in lane to that Caitlyn. The Nautilus wasn't doing too much favors either in terms of pressuring, because you can land a hook all day onto the Tom Kench. He doesn't really care, he's too tanky. You can land a hook all day onto the Senna, and then you just see the Devour. But Senna Ivern gonna be taken off the table here, so Bandit won't be able to run back with them. It does mean though that the Seraphine and Azir that they did ban last game will get through. Seraphine, though, might be banned by the Bandits here, Lindor, since it is that super powerful, all-powerful 3-lane flex pick.
Yeah, it definitely is a very potent flex pick. I don't believe that Oblivion play it too much. We're going to see the Alistair ban come through, but okay, nope. They're going to prove me wrong. They're going to lock that Seraphine in first thing.
Yeah, I mean, with the Rel off the table and the Alistair too, to a lesser degree, there isn't as much need to, well, okay. The other main things that you usually pick first, aka the Rel, are off the table. Bandit's gonna be able to get the Hecarim once again, though. The full tank Hecarim last game kind of worked out. The laning phase was a little bit Pepega, to say the least, once we saw that Bramble Vest for that Volibear top come in here, Lindor.
Yeah, the Volibear up there was faring incredibly well for Eps. We are going to see this Hecarim again for the Bandits, but we'll see. It can, of course, be a flex pick. It's not necessarily always that top lane Hecarim that we like to see. We're much more used to that jungle Heck, so we'll see if they do want to bring that one back to the jungle priority, but it is going to be the Kai'Sa picked alongside it, and it looks like Oblivion going back towards that Volibear.
Yeah, I like how you brought up the flex pick, because last game we were kind of going through champion select, assuming a Ivern top and Hecarim jungle, and then it gets flipped on us. So valuable to bring that up again, so we don't, cast a curse again. However, though, might be just seeing that Volibear Hecarim lock, or the top lane matchup. Words are hard sometimes. Once again, the top lane. However, Hecarim Kai'Sa, very good combo, because Kai'Sa loves using the ultimate Prey Seeker to just top into the back line, and Hecarim is a great fairy for that. Won't have the Leona, though, which is an excellent pick to help that Kai'Sa get into that back line. And I'm curious to see what sort of engage support or what sort of setup CC support is going to be locked in here to help this Kai'Sa flourish in team fights.
Yeah, you already talked about how it combos so well with that Hecarim. It can really combo well with those engaged supports as well. Not too many of those left on the table. Of course, we do have the Nautilus, maybe the Thresh and things like that, but the main ones in the Alistair and the Rel and the Leona banned or picked away. And with Oblivion picking up the Leona, that means that the Seraphine will be a flex pick, might be going into the mid lane. Of course, could still go in the bot lane in that carry role, but we're headed into the second bans here with the Bandits locking in Gnar as their top lane.
And a Gnar lock this early, little bit interesting. You don't know if that's Volibear top quite yet, and everybody knows Gnar can be a bit of a flop champion or coin flip champion in the top lane, if depending on matchups, because if you're able to get those matchups where you're able to just harass with autos all day long, get those free teleports in once you're Mega Gnar, you're a very happy little Gnar. If it's one of those matchups where you just can't do anything, the enemy top player is too tanky or threatens you or ranges you or yada yada yada, then you're a little bit more of a sad Gnar and a bit more in the boat of all the people who kind of think Gnar is a bit of an overrated top lane pick at the moment.
Yeah, definitely can be counterpicked. Things like the Camille, like the Aurelia and stuff like that can really get on top of that squishy mini Gnar, can punish him pretty heavily. Bans are going to be finishing up here. Bandits taking away some of these jungle picks, and on the other side, Oblivion not wanting some of these hyper scaling mages in the mid lane. And Bandits, they're grabbing up some engage here. It's the Nautilus coming into the bot lane.
Yeah, and I was going to touch on this, but we did have that long little point about the Gnar, that I'm kind of surprised that the Nautilus wasn't also taken off the board here, because if you start really straining the picks that this Kai'Sa can go with in the bot lane, that can make the Kai'Sa's life harder. Also keep in mind that Xayah is still available here, and Xayah, while not a direct one-to-one counter to the Kai'Sa, is usually a very good matchup into the sorts of comps Kai'Sa's with, because if you drop that Featherstorm, dodge on Hecarim ulti, Nautilus ulti, Gnar ulti, then that Kai'Sa can't jump to you. It is going to be that Corki, however, probably meaning that it is going to be Seraphine bot, but don't count out the Corki bot entirely.
Yeah, Jace picked alongside it. So the NA Jace coming into the top lane for Oblivion. That is one of those counter matchups into the Gnar that can fare incredibly well. We'll see what the Bandits want to round their comp out here with. Yeah, you mentioned the kind of flexibility of the Corki Seraphine. Either of those champs could go mid, could go bot. We'll see what they want to do, but it is the Bandits going for that Ahri once again to round out the comp.
I mean, it worked out very well last game. Might be a different story this time around, since if it is that Corki in the mid lane, then it is gonna be a little bit hard to really lock him down, because Valkyrie out as the Corki. Corki also typically takes fleet of footwork, so if he's able to just kind of sustain through any orbs of deception that does land on him, then you're like, okay, that kind of sucks. It's the Corki won't, of course, pose too much of a threat for you. It's just gonna be kind of annoying because you won't be able to pose too much of a threat to the Corki.
Yeah, I can definitely see the logic there. The Corki can be pretty safe. Of course, has that W dash to get things away. But for OES, this is kind of shaping up to look like more of a 1-4 comp with the Jace off on a side lane, doing what he can. They do have a fair amount of poke as well if the Jace does want to group with the squad, but definitely the split push pressure should be real for Oblivion. On the other side, for the Bandits, they're going more for that conventional 5v5 team fight. They've got oodles of engage. They've got the Mega Gnar for the follow-up, and then a couple carries there on the backside.
It's going to be very heavily on this Kai'Sa for the Bandit composition to pump out the massive DPS in team fights, but Kai'Sa is a stranger to being that hyper-scaling carry and can bring a lot of burst in this bot lane. If it is going to be Seraphine bot lane, because Seraphine has some of the lowest base HP values in the game, plus also very, very pitiful base 19 armor. So if Nautilus lands a hook, then it's very easy for Kai'Sa to just proc that plasma passive and completely destroy the Seraphine, who might just die before she's able to use any of her utility or heals.
Yeah, and they are into the draft in the client, so we can see that it is the Corki in the mid lane, which means it is the Seraphine in the bot like you're talking about, so has to be careful of that knot hook, the potential engage. Definitely a very real threat down there on the bot side, but now that we know the Corki's in the mid lane, and as these drafts are shaken out, do you give an edge to either side here, Gopher? What are you thinking?
So Oblivion Esports, their comp is definitely going to be very high on the kiting with the Corki, Chase, and Seraphine as carries, since you don't really have to engage on the Bandit composition here, Lindor. The Hecarim, Gnar, Nautilus, Ahri, Kai'Sa, all more than happy to just run towards you, try and hop on you. They don't want to do a front to back fight. They want to do a back to front fight, speaking more or less. And Oblivion do have the tools to absorb a lot of that. If the Seraphine's untouched, able to drop that massive encore, this Corki is able to Valkyrie out, yada yada yada, and you do have that Leona Volibear meat shield, so kind of favoring Oblivion Esports here when it comes to those team fights. But Bandit, they do have a composition that can snowball really well and overwhelm the enemy team with just pure brute damage if they do even get it somewhat ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you. They're kind of a classic dive versus kite matchup. We've seen things like this before. in all sorts of competitive play. One team looking for that hard engage, dive in the backline, trying to get the pickoffs onto those high priority members, and the other side looking to try and stuff that engage, kite things back, get the damage out as they come into you. So it's going to be on Oblivion to try and execute those team fights, try to make sure that that engage isn't landing onto their priority main damage dealer, specifically this Corki, and then go from there with kiting things out and getting the damage returned onto the side as they try to prevent some of that engage. So we are going to be loading onto the Rift here in just a couple seconds for Game 2. Oblivion Esports need to get this win if they want to take us to a Game 3. Remember, this is a battle for the top of the table here, a lot on the line. So Game 2 coming right up. Welcome back, everybody. We are on to the Rift for Game 2 between the Bandits and Oblivion Esports Sapphire. Bandits up 1-0 in this series. Once again, I'm Lindor. I'm here with Gopher. And Gopher, what do you got your eye on here as we do see a bit of a level 1 strategy here from both teams sending things into the bot lane?
Well, you already know what I have my eyes on. Where there's gonna be some blood here, Lindor, and probably gonna see first blood a bit more early. Oh, they see this too. It's gonna be 5 versus 5. Do you feel it in the air, Lindor?
Oh, I can feel it in the air. Look at that. Oh my goodness, Seraphine with the first blood. Ari running for her life, gonna get taken out. Stunned now onto the little Gnar as well. T-Sizzle not even gonna bother burning his flash. He's gonna fall. It's a triple kill for the Seraphine. Less than a minute in. Gopher, this is in stark contrast to game 1. We got action already.
All right, if you and Gala, our beloved streamer, could just go to gold real quick. 1,000 gold lead purely for this Seraphine off that triple kill with a level 1 pre-red buff spawn Bandle Glass Mirror. This is going to be that Moonstone. Why am I forgetting it? Seraphine, which is what we have been seeing more than the carry Seraphine since. Fun fact, apparently there is a bug with how Seraphine's passive interacts with Moonstone that gives her extra healing, because her passive is an invisible aura around here that checks for allied champions, and apparently that helps count towards staying in combat for those Moonstone stacks. So you're just getting extra healing, which is kind of stupid, and I hope I kind of fixes it, but that's my rant.
Well, I appreciate it. I never even knew about that. So yeah, definitely off to the races here. Bullet prints on this Seraphine. Things are feeling pretty good for Sapphire here in a must-win scenario. Game 2 off to a fantastic start.
Yep, of course, since it is gonna be that Moonstone Seraphine, much more orientated towards that utility, that support. It's not like you just fed a hyper carry that, but even the more supportive Seraphine builds still scale very well. She loves those extra levels to have lower cooldowns on her abilities, to be able to spam those heals, those speed ups, the slows, the roots, the damage, yada 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 yada, even more. And can still do some very damn. Oh, Bullet Print's gonna be weaving that hook on through. Definitely a much more electrifying game, though, considering we didn't have this many kills until about 15 minutes in last time, Lindor.
Yeah, exactly. I hope the action will continue here, but I think for Oblivion, especially in this bot lane, they're going to be pretty happy to just chill things out. And just as I say that, though, they're going forward. Stun's coming through. Root's going to land hook. Not going to get any sort of return. So just continuing to whittle away at Normac's health bar down here.
Yeah, so I know that was a bit of a caster curse, but with how ridiculously far ahead Bullet Prince is now in this lane, they can go for those just constant stupid all-ins here, Lindor, because the extra mana regen on the Seraphine is going to be really big, allow you to spam those shields and heals even more often. And what it translates to is that Barrow support can land the Zenith Blade, go in, they pop a lot of damage onto Slider or Normak, and that damage more or less is going to kind of stick, and you are going to eventually heal off or just shield the burst coming out from the enemy bot lane here in this Kaisa Nautilus. So they can look for these very what might look like kind of Pepega, kind of Bonobo sorts of engages, like, what are you doing, buddy? But they have the heals to just kind of wipe away the Bonobo, so to speak.
All right, this bot lane should be fearless then. We'll check in on these junglers here real quick, because it does look like Pastry wants to make a trip to this bot side and maybe try to help his bot laners equalize some of this massive gold advantage that they, or deficit, I guess, that they do find themselves in, as now it is Data Master on the top side. Gnar with the hop going to get stunned mid. Air slam coming down from the Mercury Cannon. They're going forward. T-Sizzle does have to burn that flash, but will escape from the gank just barely.
Oh, and fun fact, we're kind of talking a metric ton about this triple kill Seraphine, but with those 3 assists and 2 assists for this chase top, Lindor, both of them just able to start with a free tier of the goddess, start stacking those up sooner, and that is very scary, because Corki can be an absolute menace with that fully upgraded Mana Immune into the Murra Mana, or it's the other way around, I forget. And then, of course, Jace means he can just poke ad infinitum, not really worry about those mana costs, and that's gonna be something that is gonna be felt much later here on the side of Bandit, a bit of a ghost of the past, so to speak, for your earlier transgressions, that level 1.
Yeah, definitely that accelerated scaling for both these solo lanes and, of course, for the Seraphine, as we mentioned. It is, of course, that 1k gold lead already. and it looks like it is going to be Bardo support, spending some time getting some deep vision into the bot side here so that they can play aggressive and don't feel like they're in any sort of danger from Pastry on this Hecarim.
I mean, since it is jungle Hecarim, I'm assuming that it is going to be the tank Hecarim, more or less, that has been much more popular. The Turbo Chem tank is just such a great item on Hecarim. He absolutely loves the active, and hey, we're seeing this early dragon come out already, this early Earth Dragon, just thanks to this free prio in the bot lane from just how memey they can be at these trades. Monchek also able to kind of have some prio in this mid lane. It's fairly even, but thanks to the tier, able to out spam this Ahri with that mana sustain. And hey, early Earth Dragon gonna be adding up over time as you get more resist, especially on this Leona, especially on this Volibear, as that's a good little hook.
Not gonna have anything come of that, but yeah, like you say, really nice dragon taken up there. Data Master taking advantage of some of the winning lanes that he does have on the bot side of the map. It looks like Pastry's spending a lot of this time counter jungling, though, has stolen some of those camps away from the top side, so it's not like Data Master got that completely for free. He has sacrificed a little bit of a farm lead here for that dragon.
And it is a bit of a question of now versus later, because of course, I believe those 3 camps gonna be worth about 150-ish gold for this Hecarim. That's gonna be now compared to what's only a probably 50 gold value from this early Earth Dragon. Monchek, though, gonna be facing a giant old horse, and
had his jungler there to try and provide some protection, or else might have found himself in a bit of a sticky situation. But as it is, Pastry actually does just burn the flash to run on out of there, and now looking for further aggression, maybe looking to get something done in the bot side jungle here, is going to decide against it, though, for the time being.
And take a look at these mana pools in the mid lane. Yo-Yo Man just kind of sitting on nothing. Does not have any more corrupting potion charges as well. Does not have the mana flow ban. Instead, opting for the Cyan Tree secondary. So not going to be having that extra mana regen. We typically see the mana flow banned from a lot of mid laners. Biscuits are fine too. It's personal preference. And it does mean, though, that this Corki able to have free farm in this mid lane, able to get a very free back with this wave crashing in. That's kind of deadly because Corki outscales the Ahri and is already ahead of the Ahri thanks to that level 1 here, Lindor.
Yeah, like a 14 CS lead, 3 assists in his pocket, back in for the Noon Quiver, and of course already has that tier stacking up almost 100 already, so that one's stacking up very fast for Monchek in the mid lane. But yeah, I think that these solo laners, specifically for Oblivion, are pretty happy to just kind of chill, keep shoving things under, keep getting those tier stacks going up and sustaining with, of course, that Corrupting Pot in the top side and some of that quirky stuff in the mid.
And Lord Sizzle does now have access to level 6, which means he does have that big old Gnar ulti. Can help in this matchup somewhat. Be able to just get that good old stun. Lock this Jace down. Because Jace, not known for his tankiness, known more so for how much top laners hate him.
Yeah, definitely known for that. Bit of a nuisance up there on the top side, as it actually looks like Data Master continuing this objective focus is going to have his eyes on this first Herald. And I mean, he kind of just has 3 pushing lanes, so he's able to do whatever he really wants. So I'm able to grab the first 2 objectives on the map, assuming that he does grab this one, and we'll see where he does want to park Shelly here in game 2.
Might be top lane since it's already pushing in, and Sizzle below half health still needs to stack up the Gnar ultimate. But take a look at the inventories real quick here, Lindor, before that Rift Herald's dropped in the top lane. Moonstone Renewer already completed for this Seraphine.
Yeah,
the heals and shields were already a little bit strong in the spot lane. Now throw in that on top of this Leona, probably not going to be dying anytime soon. But Yo-Yo Man hovering towards top side. The Rift Herald was not dropped here. I like that response from the side of Bandit. I know we have been talking about how big of a lead was already generated by Oblivion here, but the gold lead has actually shrunk a little bit, and we haven't seen any more action from that level 1 here, Lindor.
Yeah, really just kind of back to farming things up through the early stages like we saw in game 1 as well. First early dragon did go over, so we have another one spawning in just about a minute. And with this power that they have on the bot side for Oblivion, I think they'll be looking to be the first to that one, but T-Sizzle does have the teleport available and the team fighting tools with that Gnar, with the Hecarim ultimate and the Nautilus providing some CC. They're definitely there, and they could have the potential to try and turn a fight around this dragon.
Oh, that's a good little
Blade. Going forward, Solar Flare is not going to find its marker. That's the encore for the charm. There's just so much CC down here. Bullet gets his fourth, but now it's the Hecarim. Onslaught of Shadows onto the Leona. Oh no, that's an E onto the minion. He might have got the cannon, but that's not what he wanted to go for. Stun coming through. The shields and the heals are just too damn much for this bot lane, and it's not going to be anything for Pastry.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you can't be focusing this Leona. Leona's kind of already a very tanky champion, especially for support. But when Bullet Prince is already with the Moonstone on the Seraphine, that's a bit of a no-no. We see the Rift Herald drop in the top lane too, since Pastry did show bot. This is going to be a lot of plates. In fact, the first tower going over to this Jace. So right as I said here, Lindor, that the Gold League kind of closing just a little bit, things evening out a little bit. Going to be a bit of a detour from that. It does mean that this Ocean Dragon got to be going over to the side of Bandit, and they will be liking that for that little bit of sustain to compete with this slider, though.
Cleanse does come through,
counter,
able to just barely get away as his team is looking
on the Seraphine.
You're going to re-arrive here. Teleport coming in, though, from Epps. He wants to try and join the fray. Seraphine running for his life.
Mana
is just barely going to escape. Now a little bit extra damage, even grabs the kill. Bullet Prince plays it perfectly.
And...
Oh, but Ari's here. Charm's going to land. Hook as well. Root is down. Epps pays for it with his life. Gnar here with the teleport as well. Flash out from Brando support, but T-Sizzle. Oh, TC, unfortunately, from the Bandits top laner.
And that is tragic, that Gnar ulti, because it is hard to sync up the Mega Gnar with your teleport timer. However, though, with this man advantage, with this river control advantage, might just be this Ocean Dragon going over to the side of Bandits. They had started it, but due to the bot lane scuffle, they did stop it, start off that whole thing bot. But there is a 5-kill Seraphine that is back in lane, working towards what I assume is that Staff of the Flowing Water. I believe the Forbidden Isles does build into that, but still learning. Either way, though, bit of a standoff.
Yeah, it could be either the Staff of Flowing Water or maybe the Ardent Sensor. Would make some sense with the Corki there as well. So we'll see what the option is going to be. Could go for both, but we'll see which one he does want to grab first. It is actually going to be the Dragon started up here for Oblivion. They have 5 members on this bot side of the map, and it looks like Bandits are kind of trying to scrounge together an attempt to try and deny this, but they don't have the members in the area, and it is going to be the second Dragon scooped up by Datamaster.
And, I know a singular Ocean Dragon usually isn't the biggest deal, and it definitely isn't going to be a game-changing deal this game. Never mind that. Normac
Solar Flare. Normac is going to miss the hook. Stun comes through. Root as well. Even the Encore coming. And the Volibear's here for even more CC. Normac, you're not allowed to move. You're going to get sent back to the platform.
Yeah, and that's how they usually kill you. This Nautilus definitely very tanky, but when you're locked in place for like 10 seconds straight, you usually die. But going back to that Ocean Dragon point, it is going to be a much more valuable Ocean Dragon, just due to the fact that there is this Seraphine already that's so fed. It's going to be bolstering heals even more when you're just getting that much natural regen. When we're talking about the Jace 2, it's also important because we are going to be seeing a lot of side lane 1v1 action between Epps and Sizzle. And that bit of extra regen to really help you home on an advantage can be a bit of a noticeable deal.
That is definitely true. Both of these solo laners love that sustain, specifically for their mana with the Corki and the Jace. So that's definitely a good point there. I like that you're pointing that out. I also want to turn our attention to some of the items because we do have our first mythics coming in. It's the shield bow in the mid lane there for Monchek, looking for a little bit of extra survivability there. And it is the Ahri going for the Everfrost once again. Of course, we already talked about that mythic in Bullet Prince's inventory. Got that one very, very early as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, insanely early, in fact, because it is a support mythic, so it costs 2,500 gold. Never mind that. Here's a Hecarim.
Yeah, gank in the top lane. This Jace does have his flash, trying to get some damage down onto T-Sizzle, looking for the trade kill. Not gonna get it. Pastry scoops that one up with the swipe.
And that is a good pickup here, because now this Jace is 0, 2, and 3, those 3 assists. Never mind that. That's a good hook. Bard of support.
Killer Instinct flying in. There is a Seraphine here to try and
provide available
and shield. Ultimate is available in just a couple seconds for Bullet Prince, but it looks like his support's gonna fall too damn fast. There it is, the Encore coming through. Corki looking to join the party, but the shutdown gold unfortunately goes onto the Nautilus. Monchek flashing forward.
What about Slider?
They get it. It's a double kill. Slider now into the 1v1. There's no isolated Q to be had, but the Acathian range is just enough damage. He doesn't even die. Lives with maybe even single-digit HP there. So a couple nice fights here from the Bandits. They're trying to fight their way back in this one.
And those were massive pickups in that bot lane there. It's a 2 for 3, but they're able to pick up that massive shutdown on the Seraphine. Don't get me wrong, Normac picking that up, not the most optimal, but you shut down this Seraphine. There's now 2 kills on this Kai'Sa, which is kind of important because we can see that early executioners in this Kai'Sa's inventory. That does delay Kai'Sa's typical spikes, since the Kai'Sa really loves the either Kraken Slayer or Gale Force into the Collector, just for that insane assassination spike. But you know, there's a Fed Seraphine on the Rift. Either way though, 2-0 Kai'Sa is a very scary prospect here. It does now have that evolved Q2 here, Lindor.
And just purchased up a Gale Force, so an aggressive option for Slider, wanting to get into the thick of things, of course, with that ultimate. And that Gale Force going to be providing a little bit of extra mobility, a little bit of extra damage, and definitely looking to play these fights out aggressively with the amount of dive that they do have. Of course, yeah, did pit stop for the Executioner's calling, but I think that while it is going to delay a little bit of the power from that Collector, as you mentioned, is still a very value pickup against this team comp.
And also, fun fact, although it actually won't apply to this game, never mind. Because if this was a Kraken Slayer, if you took that, oh, never mind. Okay, they're waiting on this Corki, but he's not coming. He's recalling.
Oh my goodness, they have vision, the flash, the charm, the shield bow procs, the shield coming through is going to be able to use that.
Wait, here comes the cavalry though.
Root, the Orb of Deception is really getting
available. Players available.
Onto Yo-Yo Man. That's the charm coming through as well. The whole squad has arrived. Yo-Yo Man is going to be going down, and Normac gets slams into the ground by Epps.
What a funny sequence of events there, Lindor. Like, we're just having a calm time talking. We see him over there. It's like, okay, you know, they say the Corki recalling. They'll probably just use this to get mid-prio, get a bit of damage on that turret. No, they go for that aggressive flash over the wall, which is cool and all. Definitely very aggressive though, and I don't think they expected the entire enemy team to come. The shield bow coming in very clutch for Monchek to keep him alive those extra second or two to let the cavalry come on in. Infernal Dragon spawning on in, third dragon of the game, but there's already control here for Oblivion Esports, who want to get themselves on this Infernal Soul Point.
Yo-Yo Man just exiting his base now. It looks like this dragon should be able to be scooped up for Oblivion as they just continue to take control of the game. Gold lead actually has evened up here quite a little bit, so Bandits doing a nice job to try and shore that one up. But I mean, we haven't talked about it too much, but this comp from Oblivion does scale quite well. Of course, the Corki is always that late game damage threat, the Seraphine as well, providing a lot of utility through those late game fights with that sustain. So I don't think Oblivion are in any sort of rush to get things going, especially considering the fact that they are on Soul Point now, just 18 minutes in.
And they do have some very nice scaling options in that Corki and that Seraphine. Not like Giga 1v9 late game sort of carries, but very strong carries in the late game nonetheless. And that is going to be a very big issue here. This RE4 Yo-Yo Man not able to get off the ground quite the same as last game. Not going to be as much of a threat, especially now. There's that shield bow. There is the tankiness in general, the heals, the shields, which can make this Ari's life difficult. Thankfully, though, for Bandit, Slider still 2-0, still very good on this Kai'Sa. But Normac might be caught.
Might be getting caught. Is going to blast cone over the wall, but it looks like the rest of the team going for the engage. That's the Hecarim coming through. Volibear back over the wall, but now it's going to be a massive encore onto the backline. Kai'Sa has the cleanse though. Look at the health bars dropping very, very low. This is such a close fight. It's on a knife's edge. 1-for-1 so far. Slider is into the back line, but he has to flash away. Slider is in trouble. It's 1-for-1 so far still. No one has dropped other than the two so far. Looks like these teams are going to be going their separate ways. Oblivion might be looking for the chase down, but doesn't look like they'll find anything here. Crazy fight, but only one on each side falling.
Yeah, kind of wonder how only one on each side fell, especially like when I saw Slider ult into the back line with that instinct. I'm like, all right, you better pop someone or you are going to immediately die. But instead does not pop anyone, just flashes on out of range. And it is that 1-for-1. Like you said, at the end of the day, nothing too much really happening. And just kind of, it's basically play-by-play warm-up, I guess. It's not going to have too much effect on this game, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of ultimates used for a lot of nothing there, really. It was T-Sizzle going down for the second time, and Data Master did go over to Yo-Yo Man, so it's another kill for the Ahri. Couple of shutdowns now on the Bandits as they've started to pick up a few of these fights.
Gonna be nice, especially since now this Ahri getting another kill, gonna help with that kill threat. And actually, technically a slight gold lead here for Bandit, despite that massive early game deficit. It's not really a big lead, and we just see it now get erased with that bot lane tower to pick up. And for all intents and purposes, this is a dead even game outside of these dragons gold-wise here, Lindor.
Yeah, really surprising actually to see that, as now we have an engage attempt in the mid lane. It is going to be the depth charge onto the Seraphine. Hook going to land as well. Killer Instinct is available, but look at the CC, the Gnar into the wall. The teleport now is going to join from Epps, but I think it might be a little bit too late. He's going to get hooked back in, stunned up with the wallop. See you later. It's another double kill for the Kai'Sa. The Bandits continuing to go, but Pastry might have gone a little bit too deep. The Killer Instinct onto the backline once again. Nautilus in the middle, but he's going to be going down. Now, it is the Kai'Sa with the Gale Force getting
Players out
between the towers. She's going to be running away. It's an ace. How are the Bandits coming back in this game?
I mean, they definitely weren't out of it. Like we said, it was a dead even game, but they got that massive pick onto the Seraphine. Still giga squishy, and when you hit the CC on the Seraphine, she does not have the tankiness to survive much, but we're talking about how Slider being 2-0, very potent. This Kai'Sa can be an extremely potent, consistent form of DPS, and now that Slider is 5-0-3 here, Lindor. Now that Slider is going to be picking up this Baron buff and gold as well. This is a scary prospect. It's not completely out of Oblivion's hands quite yet, but it is going to be slipping out of their control just a little bit now that the gold lead is noticeable.
Yeah, Oblivion now looking towards this Infernal Soul spawning in 45 seconds. That's going to be what they're going to be looking towards to maybe force a fight and prevent Bandits from using their Baron for too much here. But it is going to be a tough fight. They actually find themselves at quite a big gold deficit now after what was a fantastic early game for them. So 30 seconds on this Dragon. Ultimates are going to be available pretty much across the board, it looks like, by the time that one has spawned. And this is going to be the big team fight for Oblivion.
Yeah, definitely something to watch out for. They do have the Baron buff here on the side of the Bandits. That is going to help them get prio in whatever lane they choose. Not really utilizing quite yet, although the side lanes, top lane at least, pushing for them. But turrets, just going to be the name of the game, it looks like, for Oblivion. It is fine if they give up a singular Infernal Dragon. Stall out this Baron timer. I do not mind this because you are still on that soul point. It's going to be 5 more minutes until you threaten it again, and there won't be a Baron buff next time around.
Yeah, and I was talking about how this could be the fight for them, looking for that Infernal Soul, but I actually do like the decision from them there to just give it up. They get a tower in the mid lane, get some camps, get the reset, and are going to look to just defend against this Baron buff. So I think a smart, intelligent play to call off a fight there around the Baron. We'll see what they can do to defend against this Baron buff, though, because if there is a couple towers grabbed here for Bandits, they could continue to extend this gold lead. But now this is the engage. No, not quite.
That's one of those packages where it's like, crap. It expires in 5 seconds. I'm just going to use it.
Quick, hit the button. Yeah.
Yeah. It is a fun button to press when you do have the package, I will admit. So that is a mid lane turret actually picked up here by this Gnar, if I'm not mistaken. Oh wait, or was it top lane? I'm not paying attention to the map. That's a good hook, but Bardo's support so tanky.
Look at the Hecarim into the back line, finding the swoop. Oh my goodness, Killer Instinct is going to go back. Big knock up on
that encore under the tower.
with the across the team. It's the shutdown onto the Kaisa. They found the 80 carry. Nars running for the hills, but the flash is going to just drag the Leona deeper. They're onto the Ahri, the flash away. Oh, that's a big Gnar ultimate. They're trying to turn it back around. Corki on the backlines has some damage, but is looking trying to find the catch out, but T-Sizzle will fall. Eps goes down as well. Top laners trade their life. Contact on the map now. Everfrost going forward. Oh my goodness, Data Master with the flash. The shutdown onto the Ahri as Oblivion have found all of the shutdowns.
Now, that fight that led to the Baron, Lindor. They caught out the Seraphine and Leona and bursted the Seraphine. This time, they catch out the Leona, don't burst out the Seraphine. Kind of a night and day difference, if I do say so myself. And Slider, so close to getting that massive pop-off in the back line here, but not able to finish off those members. That massive encore, the turret damage racking up, really shredding through the front line, and Slider just away from everyone. Did not have the homie system with them. Massive shutdown here.
Yeah, Slider going down. Yo-Yo Man giving his shutdown gold over as well. I said they picked up all the shutdowns, but I was wrong on that one. Pastry actually did live through the fight there, so still has a 350 bounty on his head. But that is going to be the fight going over to Oblivion as this game continues to go back and forth. Still a slight lead for the Bandits here in the gold category, but a close game nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of at the point where we look at that gold lead and say, okay, in technicality, it's a gold lead, but this isn't really going to mean too much. It depends where that gold lead is. And if we take a look at the members here, the biggest difference between the Bandits and the side of Oblivion is the gold lead for the jungler, so Pastry, and then Normak, the support. And that isn't the biggest deal because this is, oh, never mind, he's dead.
Yeah, everyone's here, even the Killer Instinct, but now there's a pick on the other side as both teams look for the picks onto some of the carries there. Down, it's already hitting the floor 1-for-1 across the map.
Yeah, I don't think you needed to throw that much at Yo-Yo Man's Ahri. That is one way to ensure that his Ahri does drop, and with the stay of the map, does mean that Oblivion able to have this priority in the mid lane, gets some push into this tower. Here comes the Hecarim, does have the onslaught of shadows, and what can he do? He's going to go through everyone.
Could be it, but he's getting stunned up. Look at the CC coming through.
Already dead almost.
The depth charge onto the back line, but goodbye Nautilus. Monchek grabs that one out. The Ballader going forward, turning off the tower.
Oh, Corki!
The slam down. Corki with the damage coming through. Seraphine grabbing one as well. It's 4 in the death chamber here for Bandits and Oblivion. They're starting to look like they want to fight. They want to take us to game 3. They're going to grab this tower, and with this dragon spawning in a minute, they should have their eyes on that objective.
And well, the gold lead has once again swung back a little bit in the favor of Oblivion. There are still some death timers here, most notably Slider. Not up for another 15 seconds here. Not realistically gonna be able to defend this inhibitor, and that inhibitor being down is gonna have some very, very big consequences for this dragon. Sizzle almost dies. That's a great soul flame. Not able to get the stun though, and everyone just got to back off here, Lindor.
Yeah, they do grab that inhib up. Unfortunately, the engage, they're not quite going to find an extra pick off, so it is going to be 5 members of the Bandit.
Normak has to be careful here.
15 seconds on the Dragon. 3 or 4 members from the Bandits trying to walk up. They don't want to let this go.
Teleport. He has package 2. Oh, this is big. It's going to be so hard to contest this checkpoint if Monchek just uses the Valkyrie to zone off both those jungle entrances here. There's a charm. There's Pastry.
Pastry's looking for a depth charge. Is going onto the Corki. He's going to be stunned in the middle. That's going to be
the package.
Stars trying to get Mega, but it doesn't matter. He's going to go down. Now the kill's coming through. It's going to be 1. It's going to be 2. It's going to be 3. Goodbye to the Bandits as they continue to be falling here. Oh my goodness, the triple heal comes through as the shield bow for some protection there. He wants to get the Quadra. Falc over the wall. Goodbye Pastry time. A Quadra for Monchek.
And we are going to a game number 3 here, Lindor. The GGs are coming out. Never mind, no GGs. But there's already supers in the base. There's an Infernal Soul. And we're going to this game number 3. This Corki showing up massive and giving a Seraphine a triple kill, level 1. Maybe not the best schmoove in the book.
Yeah, not really what you like to see from your level 1 there, but nonetheless a fantastic game out from Oblivion. It's Sapphire here, able to take us to this game 3. And look at this quirky scoreline, 10, 3, and 9 from Monchek, really putting the team on his back.
Yeah, it definitely helps that this Corki did get that bit of an early lead, able to get that early man immune, and when you have this Giga-Fed Seraphine behind you, just constantly throwing out those heals, constantly rooting people that try to so much as even approach you, it's gonna be a rough time for the enemy team, especially because we didn't really see too much grievous wounds to deal with this Seraphine healing, to deal with that shield bow healing outside of a lone Thornmail at the top lane for Sizzle here.
Executioners for Slider as well did pick that.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. I even made a point about it.
Yeah, but you're right. Still a bit of a lack of the anti-heals there, considering how strong the Seraphine was and how much value he does provide, of course, with that Moonstone. The Redemption as well got picked up there as well. But all around, just a good game from Oblivion in a must-win scenario here in this fight for first place. They are going to grab game 2 and send us to a game 3. We're going to take a short break, but guys, don't go anywhere because we got a banger series now. Both these teams fighting things out, wanting that first seed. So we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We are prepped for a game 3 here. Bandits taking home game 1, but Oblivion snatching game 2 up. So here we go, game 3, everything on the line. First place match here, trying to get sole possession of that first place. Once again, my name is Lindor. I am here with Gopherino, and we're ready for game 3. Gopher, set me up. What expectations you got here?
Well, we probably won't see a triple level one. We also do have confirmation that Seraphine still kind of busted as stream friendly term crap sort of champion. I don't want to get our overlords at Risen demonetized here.
Yeah, so far Seraphine has been let through here on the draft. Oblivion, of course, have one more ban on the red side, so I'm going to look for them to take that one off the table, not wanting to give it over to Bandits after they were able to really get a lot of work done with it in game 2 there. So there it is, going to be not available here, and they're banning away the Senna and the Ivern once again. This means the Hecarim is up, and the Bandits, they're going to lock that one in right away.
I'm surprised. I thought we'd see the Rel insta-lock here as that B1 because you don't have to force the Hecarim pick here, but I'm guessing Hecarim is one hell of a comfort pick here for the Bandits. The Rel is available for Oblivion if they so do choose to pick it up here. But for the third time this series and for the last time of this series here, Lindor, we are going to be seeing a Volibear and a Hecarim on opposing sides.
Yep. Draft looking very similar to game 1, and it actually is going to be the Thresh picked up for Oblivion, and I don't mind that pickup, right? You mentioned how the Rel is up and available. Thresh is something that can answer the Rel fairly well with the Flay kind of stuffing some of that engage with the crash down, so I don't mind the pickup. If they're not going for the Rel there, I think Thresh is the best choice.
Although, kind of surprised they didn't pick the Rel because Rel is very good into the Hecarim, and there is the Kaisa locked in. The Rel functions well with the Kaisa, but the Rel also functions well against the Kaisa because if the Kaisa uses her ultimate, that not Praise Seeker, the what?
Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct, that's what it is. But well, if the Kaisa Killer Instincts into your Magnet Storm, that is a bit of a no bueno for the Kaisa.
Yeah, it sure is. And it looks like the Bandits are going to be looking for a different look in the mid lane. Yo-Yo Man going on to a late game scaler in the Azir here for game 2, or game 3 rather.
We have seen that Azir banned as well in the previous 2 games. Let's see what he's able to make happen on it, because Yo-Yo Man has been on the Ahri all series long, had a very amazing game 1. Granted, that was with some donated kills that really did help accelerate that Ahri, and we kind of saw in game 2 what happened when that Ahri was not really accelerated necessarily. Once again, though, gonna be the Orianna for Oblivion. The Thresh Orianna, very nice protection sort of squad here for any sort of backline you have.
Yeah, I like the Orianna pick. Scales pretty well. Of course, the Azir looking to scale up, and that Orianna ultimate, always have to watch out for those shockwaves because they are absolutely devastating if they find the correct targets. Bans coming down here in the second ban phase. It is going to be the Rel taken away now, so not going to be able to see that hard engage. And it looks like Caitlyn hitting the ban table as well, so not wanting that aggressive bot lane out from Oblivion.
Because we did see the Caitlyn game 1, and Caitlyn has been popping up a little bit more this patch, more as a way to counterpick some of the champions we see in lane, primarily the shorter range stuff like the Kaisa, just able to bully her out pre-6 because the Kaisa does not have the Killer Instinct to hop on you quite yet, and also taking away the Leona that pairs so well with this Kaisa, and this Kaisa gonna be a little strained for potential synergy picks here in the bot lane. In terms of supports that can go in big and go in hard. Nautilus is still available though.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that Nautilus really the last of the high caliber engage supports that we are seeing. We've seen him actually in both of the games so far this series, and as you mentioned, is one of those engagers that combos so well with the Kaisa. We'll see if that is what the Bandits want to be going for, but for now it is the 4th pick for Oblivion. They need a bot laner, and they need either a top or a jungle here. What is their choice going to be? Ooh, aggressive pick, Samira.
I thought we are going to see the Xayah here because the Xayah would just do so well at denying any sort of Shurima shuffle, any sort of hack from backline flank. But the Samira is kind of fighting fire with fire sort of philosophy here because Kai'Sa does like fighting in lane, but Samira likes fighting even more so. If you're able to if you're able to deny that dredge line with your little twirl around W wind ball sort of dealio, that is going to be big. You also have the Thresh who can set you up. Maybe not the best support to combo with the Samira, since Samira really wants a big meathead support like the Leona, like the Alistar, like the Nautilus. But hey, Thresh, still a very good setup champion, and this could be, and probably will be, a fairly bloody bot lane, to say the least here, Lindor.
Yeah, it definitely has potential to be exactly that. Samira, as you mentioned, likes to get aggressive in the bot lane. The Thresh is something that doesn't enable it as well, as you said, as maybe something like the Alistar or the Rel, but definitely can get the work in, has some knockups and some displacements that can allow the Samira passive to go through. But Bandits, they're picking themselves up a really good combo here with the Shen Hecarim.
Yeah, I was about to say that myself here too, because Shen Hecarim, well, as I like to say, the Hecarim delivers the Shen, and the Shen delivers the Hecarim, because Hecarim really likes that massive Stand United shield to access the back line if it is that much more damagey Hecarim, and Shen loves having the Hecarim carry that Stand United taunt on into the back line. Set, though, is going to be the response here, and Set can potentially out split push this Shen if he does get ahead, wins that 1v1, and has some good potential to stuff engages here if you're able to get that showstopper before that Hecarim enters that unstoppable state.
Definitely has a lot of those alt targets, some front lane options here. Of course, the Hecarim, the Shen, even the Nautilus can be options for him to shove out of the fight, shove into the team, and then look for those dirty set combos with the Facebreaker, the big man stuns. That can combo incredibly well with the Orianna, that Shockwave on top. So lots of wombo combo options here for Oblivion, and it looks like both of these teams really opting into a 5v5 strategy here for Game 3.
Yeah, this is very 5v5 sort of strategy sort of game. I mean, you have Kai'Sa, Samira, who are both carries that want to be bloodthirsty, who have all these massive team fight picks here, and it's gonna be an exciting game number 3, that's for sure. But there is, since both these teams want to go for these big 5v5 fights, Lindor, there is a chance that an early lead might just snowball out of control.
Yeah, when you have these 5v5 team fightings, those early leads are all important, as a little bit of that extra gold infusion can really go a long way in getting some of those item spikes and getting those extra damage through to win those fights. So definitely a lot of engage on both sides, a lot of team fighting possibilities, big ultimates, lots of knockups, lots of craziness going to be happening here for Game 3.
Oh yeah, I want to see another big level 1 like last game too. I kind of don't think it's gonna happen, because I mean, when it works out one time, it probably doesn't work out a second time, because the team that fell for it kind of gets the heebie-jeebies and is like, all right, let's not walk into this. And the team that did it is like, all right, there's no way they fall for this twice, so let's do something a little bit different this level 1.
Yeah, Bandits do have the Nautilus again, which is what they did use to try and go for that level 1 engage. But yeah, as you say, definitely didn't go well for them last game. So they might be a little bit scared, we should say, for going for that. So maybe it'll be a standard 5 point from these squads as we get into the game. But everyone remember, this is the Game 3 of this series. Both these teams undefeated to this point in the league. So this all-important Game 3 will be deciding who gets to maintain possession of first place and who will be falling to the third place spot, because we do have 3 teams tied at first right now. But we're going to be getting into the game in just a couple of minutes for Game 3, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. We are on to the Rift, locked and loaded and ready for Game 3. My name is Lindor. I'm here with Gopher, and this has been a fun series so far. I'm hoping we get a good Game 3 here as well.
Okay. Game 1, not the most exciting. Game 2, though, much more action-packed. And this game number 3, well, we see... All right, Oblivion just trying to set up for what worked out last time on the opposite side of the map. Bandits not having any of it, though. Just not going to be risking that because it was kind of a big deal last game. Granted, they don't have to worry about a quadruple level 1 Seraphine route, which is a bit of a detrimental thing.
There is the set, though. The Facebreaker could be devastating, so it's good to see that they're not going for any sort of shenanigans here in Game 3. Recalls are going to go off here, and we should just be getting a normal jungle start from both sides.
Yep, nothing too surprising. A little bit cheeky. Data Master and Pastry both doing that little life hack as jungler, where level 1 you just run out, instantly drop a ward back and buy the sweeper, and that's more or less just a free little ward, just to help you get an idea where the enemy jungler might be. It's nothing big though.
Yeah, popping those defensive wards on the top side so that there will be information if there's any sort of vertical jungling going on from these sides. Rune choices looking fairly standard across the board. It is the Conqueror in the mid lane here for Yo-Yo Man on the Azir. This is something that's been popularized by Chovy over in the LCK, so we'll see exactly what the build is going to be going for. I've seen people opt for the Liandry's on Azir due to a couple of the nerfs coming through on the Sand Soldier damage, but we'll see what Yo-Yo Man does want to go for. On the other side, pretty standard across the board.
I mean, yeah, Yo-Yo Man on the Azir. Azir, very flexible as a champion and what he can really take. We've seen Lethal Tempo, we've seen Comet, we've seen, I think, Electrocute a few times. And now Conquer, like you've said. It is a lot of personal preference, matchup preference, yada, yada, yada. Whatever you're most comfortable with.
Yep, definitely true. Not necessarily the bad option at all. And like you say, just something that Yo-Yo Man likes to take, whether it's into this Orianna matchup or just in general. But we do have junglers starting on the opposite sides of the map here once again. A little bit of a tempo advantage for Data Master, but it is very slight, just a couple of seconds early, and they should be trading Scuttle Crabs on either sides.
Yeah, realistically speaking, even though jungle tempo is always important, I mean, they're on opposite sides of the map. It's not going to amount to much. Unless it means we see a slightly earlier gank where one gets to the lane before another, but as previously said, they're on opposite sides of the map. This is going to be a little bit calm here for the first bit. Bot lane definitely should have some action here soonish now that both bot lanes are level 2, looking towards that level 3. It's going to matter on whether Normac or Bardo support land that first big free hook to set up their AD carry, I feel here.
Yeah. Definitely keep tabs on that bot lane. Both these bot duos very, very aggressive. You talked about it a little bit in champion select already. So we'll see if these junglers want to lend their attention towards that and try to sway the tides of this matchup. But for now, as we said, just trading Scuttle Crabs. It is the push in the top lane here for Eps, but actually not doing so well. Missing a couple of those CS, is finding himself at a bit of a deficit. First gank attempt into the mid lane. Monchek has his flash. Does he have to use it to get away? Does indeed burn it. Pastry actually uses the ghost on the backside, but now he's checking a bear. Data Master looking at the nibble damage coming through the red buff slow. First blood for the Volibear.
Oof. And Volibear early on with that press, the attack packs a hell of a wallop, especially as Pastry. If you just kind of walk into that bush gun like, I finished the gank, I got the mid laner's flash, I'll look back here in a bit. You're just thinking of the future, then all of a sudden, Storm, or whatever Volibear says. He has several lines for his E, I believe, the Stormbringer, where he goes like, storms arise, or whatever, that deep voice. Either way, hell of a lot of damage after that press the attack procs. Once that procs, you use the big old Volibear chomp to get that little bit of execute damage and the boosted damage from the press the attack, and hey, first blood for this Volibear, certainly welcome. And putting a Hecarim behind is always very welcome, especially now with the more usual tank build that we have been seeing, Lindor, because it really relies on base damages, and when you're a level or two behind, it hurts.
Definitely does hurt. We'll see if Pastry can try and make up for a little bit of that because of that first death. He is, of course, going for that tank build as we see a couple ruby crystals being grabbed up, but it actually does look like Data Master wants to go for this early dragon once again and start stacking these ones up early and often for the team.
And early Cloud Dragon, it is actually technically one of the more impactful dragons when it comes to single buff, but when we're talking about ultis, it doesn't matter the most here for the side of Oblivion. The biggest ultimate would be the Shen ultimate, but that's on the opposing team. Denying that's great. It is going to be backed off, though, since it is snuffed out by the mid lane jungle duo. That is Yo-Yo Man and Pastry.
Yeah, and T-Sizzle just ticking over to level 6 there would have been able to join the fray if a fight had broken out. So I think a smart call there from Data Master and the rest of Oblivion to call that one off and make sure that they're not getting outnumbered by the Stand United.
Yeah, because, I mean, these solo laners are level 5 now. Oh wait, no, never mind. Okay, I saw Yo-Yo Man was level 5, and I thought, okay, every soul laner's level 5.
Oh, super
there's the showstopper. Look for data.
Sizzle running for his life, dodges the Haymaker shield coming through, has the flash to get away. Now Data Master is here. He has the flash for himself. It's another kill on the bear. Take a bite out of Sizzle.
Yep, it does cost a flash, which kind of sucks as it's follow the bear, but now 2-0. That's pretty big. Putting the Shen behind, that is a great thing to do against the Shen lane, because when you target other lanes than the Shen Stand United lane, you target the Shen, well, he's kind of stuck on his own. It does mean, though, this Cloud Dragon going over to the enemy team, that is kind of a big deal. Stand United really appreciates that cooldown reduction. Pastry will appreciate it, Yo-Yo Man will appreciate it, and then it is absolutely massive on Normark.
Lots of big ultimates for this Bandit squad, so yeah, definitely they're going to be happy to grab that one up. We do have Ocean Dragon spawning second here, so it is going to be Mountain or Infernal Soul here for Game 3. We can take a look at some of our CS leads here as the junglers are kind of moving into some vertical jungling here. Looks like it is actually Volibear starting to catch up a little bit. Turbo farming through these camps, but now Volibear using the top side once again. Taunt is going to avoid too much of that damage, so a nice job from T-Sizzle. Good reactionary taunt to get away.
And it is putting the pressure on the Shen, but that's not really a lot of pressure. The Shen more than happy to let the wave kind of crash into tower and try and farm under tower as best he can. And Shen, of course, even when behind, can operate fairly well. Going back to the CS lead, so because the big one is here, Monchek versus Yo-Yo Man. Yo-Yo Man just having a field day. 20 CS up, that's over 3 waves. Never mind that, there is 2 ultis available here.
Is here to turn off the tower. Haymaker coming through, but the damage is not going to be finding the mark as Yo-Yo Man with the TP in, looking for the same soldier swoop, but the flash from Epps is going to keep him safe.
And I like this from Oblivion Esports. Epps and Data Master see that teleport, immediately know, let us just back off, commit at the ultis, and we're getting this massive teleport cooldown for it. It's going to mean that in the mid lane, Monchek able to catch up a bit and farm, able to get a very nice back on whatever terms he wants, and gonna be a bit of a small advantage compiling to the side of Oblivion.
Yeah, those 2 kills that they have nabbed up is going to be a bit of a lead for them. Not quite 1,000, maybe 600 or 700 gold so far. But yeah, as you mentioned, it is the CS differential in the mid lane. Looks like Monchek is going to be able to pick up this wave and maybe should try, as Yo-Yo Man's going for the back here, to even that one up as he grabs a wave or 2 and tries to shove it in.
We do see pings around this Herald, though. Pastry already in the area with Yo-Yo Man. They have control. Monchek does not have the lane prio, forced back to tower, and yep, that is a free Rift Herald picked up, which is going to be a very nice thing. The first Rift Herald is always the most important, since you can get it before those plates do drop, and that is the main reason you do pick up the Rift Herald. You either want to A, get a buttload of plates money with it, or B, pick up the first tower with it, because otherwise the Rift Herald, if it just charges onto a tower without plates and then just kind of chunks it, that's kind of whatever. But the gold you get from plates, the gold you get from first tower, that is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, always have to consider what that Rift Herald is going to be getting, because getting the objective itself, not enough. Of course, you have to summon it up and try to get some plate money, as you say. So good call out there. We'll see where Pastry does want to take that one, which lane he wants to infuse with a little bit of that plate money. But for now, both junglers just continuing to farm here a little bit. We see some trading in the top side, but Shen's got the plated steel caps. He's going to be feeling all right. Going to get pretty tanky against these auto attacks from Set.
And Epps gonna be going for the Stride Breaker. Very common, in fact, the most common thing now on the set. Never mind.
Oh, Yo-Yo Man's gonna be face checking that bush. He's got the swoop, he's got the flash, but the red buff is on. Look at that escape from Yo-Yo Man. The man, cool as ice, gets away from the gank.
Yeah, Azir is ridiculously safe when he has all his cooldowns up, because you ulti them away, you can Shurima Shuffle out, and then you also have a flash on top of it too, if needed. Never mind that Pastry. Yeah, you're
Pastry has to use the ultimate to get away. Luckily for him, the hook does not land, but does have to use the Onslaught of Shadows, and that is now not going to be available for this next dragon.
As there's 97 seconds left on this Onslaught of Shadows cooldown, 45 seconds until the dragon, and that is going to be a noticeable window here for Oblivion Esports if they do want to force that. There is still, of course, the Rift Herald in the back pocket, so Pastry not completely out of aces in his sleeve right now, as that's good taunt.
Oh, that comes through. Facebreaker is not for the stun. T-Sizzle grabbing a solo kill up here in the top side.
Pastry is hovering in the bot lane. There is no support quite yet. Monchek gonna be meeting up with Pastry. Does not look like we're gonna be seeing too much here. Just a lot of checking out what the other's trying to do, trying to set up for this dragon here, because getting yourself on the board for the dragon's very nice. Epps, though, still dead. Does have the teleport.
Engage Shockwave onto two. Bear jumping into the back line, but look at this. The teleport's coming down. Health bar's looking very low.
Showstopper available.
Grim is trying to run himself away. Facebreaker's gonna miss, but it is gonna be T-Sizzle grab. That's gonna be Samira ultimate coming through. Flash forward. Kaisa is next on the menu. Has the flash, has the killer instinct, looking to run away. Is gonna barely escape, but it is a 2-for-0 so far for the side of Oblivion.
And two of the primary front lines, two of the primary engagers, the face checkers here, gonna be taken down. This is a nice and juicy tower. There are still plates available. That dragon is available too. Looks like Oblivion Esports gonna have their cake and eat it too, with some big kills, some big plates, and whatever dragon, a so-so dragon.
Yeah, 4-1 lead now for Oblivion. They've got a decent gold lead here already, just about 2k in their pockets. They're also going to even up the dragon count, as you did mention there. So just a nice fight from them, as you say, just absolutely bursting through the frontline engagers, and then from there looking for the chase down. Not able to find anything else, but the 2 kills are enough to net them some advantages.
And this gold lead is at the point where it will be kind of noticeable. It is kind of definitive, not quite game ending quite yet. Still though, half the kills are in this full tank Volibear's pocket, which isn't going to be the biggest issue. You will definitely be able to go through this Volibear with the percentage health damage coming out of this Kaisa. Then of course Azir just shreds through everyone. Bullet Prince though, now 1-0-1, able to get some plates under his belt too. And Samira, among the 80 carry Pantheon, not the biggest hyper carry, but can be the biggest booby trap carry in the sense that if you ignore her and she has some golden items under her belt here, she can absolutely decimate your team here.
Especially with that shield bow, which they now have in their inventory there for Bullet Prince. More trading in the top lane. It's going to be the suplex burned, taunt coming through. There is some jungle attention joining here, but it looks like there is going to be the engage shadowed here from a couple members from Oblivion, so the engage is going to be dissuaded.
Yeah, and once again, trying to target this Shen lane. That is the standard protocol for dealing with the Shen. Anyways, though, gonna be a little bit calm here for a bit, as there's no herald, there's no dragon, just towers, just people.
Yep, just continuing to get these farm numbers up. The carries here from Bandits are doing a pretty good job, each of them having an advantage to themselves. Top lane here, looks like Shen trying to slowly push this out, but is going to be eating a Facebreaker, eating some damage from the set. does have to be a bit careful here as Volibear has joined the party. Datamaster has his ultimate available. Thresh rotating up here as well. They could look for a dive, and we'll see if Normac can get here in time to defend his top laner. Looks like he does just have to sack the wave, and Oblivion going to be looking for some turret damage here, but not going to. Ooh, Taunt under the tower, turning off the tower, coming through.
From Yo-Yo.
To join the fray. It is going to be Datamaster under that tower for a long time. A really nice Thresh Lantern to get him out. Just a trade of a couple skills and the Volibear ultimate there.
A lot of summoners also blown. But that does mean, once again, Rift Herald Prio, and should be the second Rift Herald of the game, gotta be going over again to Bandits. Of course, there are no plates anymore. First tower still available. They do have some prio in the top lane. They can get prio in the mid lane if they want to force it. But I think the most likely call here is just going to be they're going to sit on it and wait. Much like a ambush predator of sorts.
Yeah. T-Sizzle did just burn his teleport to get down to the bot side, but does have his ultimate. And you've talked about how Datamaster and the rest of the squad have been focusing the Shen in the top side, going to that global and pressuring the Shen himself, not allowing him to use the Stand United for those cross-map plays. And I think they'll continue to look to play this style because focusing the Shen is always the good option, as you have talked about. Right now, we do see Epps up on the top side. No one going to match him here just yet, but could be a potential transition into a 1-3-1 here from the Bandits.
Yeah. Tilda, oh wait, has to be a bit careful. Yo-Yo Man and Normac gonna be coming on up and warding off this set. A lot of tension in the air, but I don't think we'll be seeing too much, I feel, until this first Earth Dragon.
Whew. Damage just from a QW combo there from Monchek. Chunking out Slater just a little bit there. Is going to be going for the recall. Has his Kraken Slayer in his inventory. Has that lethality there with the Serrated Dirk as well. As we're seeing Mythics coming through across the board. It's double chem tank for the go fast junglers here. Mythics in for the mid laners as well, as Yo-Yo Man opting for that Leandri's Torment. And of course those 80 carries we've already talked about, those item spikes coming in.
And most importantly, though, Slider is gonna have the upgraded Cathian Rain right now, which is very massive. That offers a lot of burst damage and that assassination potential. That's why we.
That's a great look. Assassinated. Okay, Shen ultimate is going to be in. Flash away is going to save Slider's life, but that's going to be the dragon spawning in 5 seconds. Teleport to join from Epps. It looks like Oblivion should be able to grab this one, as Slater has just been chunked out of the fight.
Good hook. And yes, that is absolutely massive there to bait out that Stand United before the fight. Slider, also without flash, really decreases this Kai'Sa's ability to go aggressive. There's the Rift Herald. 3 people in his mid lane. Showstopper.
That's the Facebreaker onto 2. Unstoppable Onslaught coming down. Haymaker to buy some time. Hook is going to land actually onto the Shen. Shelly does get the charge. The tower gets destroyed, but now Volibear is here looking for the slam down. They're looking for the chase. Flash play over the wall. They're looking for it. Samir is here.
Bardo.
But Bardo actually is going to be the first to fall. Whoa! Re-engage from Normac. He wants even more. I don't know about that one, buddy. Datamaster's on a killing spree, as it looks like they want even more. Oh no, they're going in one after the other. What is happening? The team just goes in, but now it's the Sarima shuffle. Haymaker to buy some time. It's going to be the bullet tornado coming through. Can he get more double? This fight has deteriorated, but it is the Bandits coming through with the team fight victory.
And what an absolute bloody series of events. 5 for 4 in the end, I believe. It's kind of hard to keep track of, honestly, here. There's just so much happened, and Epps and Bardo starting it off there, a little bit questionable. I know they want to not give over that first tower in the mid lane for free. However, though, just this set, just this Thresh are not enough damage, really, and they weren't able to finish off any of the people they picked off. Had to pay a lot. Bulletprint's not able to get that Inferno trigger until the very late stages of that fight. And it is costly because that beautiful flash taunt from Sizzle, enabling Slider just flying to the backline. Yo-Yo Man with that Shurima shuffle, like you called out here, able to just keep people up in the air, keep them eating the damage from this Slider, from this Yo-Yo Man. And 2 kills on the Azir, and Kai'Sa is a scary prospect.
Yeah, those carries, getting those kills, that's what you like to see if you are Bandits here. And one thing to talk about in that fight, the engage from the Bandits was a little bit disjointed. Normac flashing in first, Q's into the wall. Unfortunately, then it's Pastry going in with the ultimate, not quite finding that engage. T-Sizzle then with the flash taunt, as you said, that's the thing that lands the engage. Yo-Yo Man comes in after that. But imagine, Gopher, if these engages all land at the same time, they can pile in, stack that wombo combo. That would be absolutely nuts.
Yeah, and this game still on such a razor thin edge. The only real differential is, well, where are the kills located? What are the objectives gathered? And Extra Dragon, a little bit of an advantage here for the side of Oblivion. They have 3 kills on the Samira, which is the carry with the most kills in this game. But when you look at the opposite side, first tower gold, Slider, Yo-Yo Man, both with 2 kills apiece, having the majority of their kills on their team. That's also very good, and both these teams have their pros going into this mid game here.
Yeah, even game 3, as we like to see. It is, of course, that Mountain Soul. As you mentioned, Oblivion do have the advantage so far, grabbing that first Mountain Dragon of the game. But 2 minutes for that next one. We could see a little bit of a lull here as these teams might be looking for those second item spikes. It is Hecarim already, of course, with the Dead Man's Plate in, but everyone else on the map looking to put those components together and grab their second completed item.
And Data Master might have been able to finish off the Thornmail if he really wanted to, but I do like this diversion. You get the Bramble Vest for that healing reduction, which is always handy, even though there isn't like giga dedicated healing on the enemy team. Going into that Spirit Visage next, it will help a lot against Yo-Yo Mans this year. And also Slider's Kaisa, because Kaisa does a lot of hybrid damage thanks to her Plasma passive and her W. Other than that, though, gonna be a little bit chill here because we have about another minute until that next Dragon does spawn.
Yeah, trading once again here in the top lane. Looks like T-Sizzle getting some of those autos down, is going to eat a Haymaker on the back half, but not a lot of kill threat up here on the top side. Both these guys fairly tanky in their own right, but now the hook's going to land. He gets pulled over the wall, does have to use the Onslaught of Shadows to get away, is going to be able to barely escape with his life, but that's a big cooldown wasted once again. And we look at this Dragon timer, just about 45 seconds in. Pastry's ult might not be quite up in time for that one.
And the biggest thing is, with this Hecarim being forced back and not having access to that ult immediately, means there isn't as much threat from Bandit over river control, which is massive. We can see the only real vision over the dragon that Bandit does have is that Rift Scuttle that they grabbed earlier, but that is going to time out, I believe, as I hover over. No, okay. That will be up still when the dragon does spawn for a little bit longer as well. And okay, they're going to be turning towards Baron, actually, because keep in mind, Kaisa Azir kind of absolutely shred Baron, and you do not want to give that up for free. I don't give a damn if it gives you the potential soul point here, because a singular Earth Dragon for Baron, when the game's this close, this is not a good deal.
Yeah, it seems like Oblivion are aware of the fact that they're trying to go for this trade, but they are going to opt to go for that Mountain Dragon. It has been started up here. It has the Baron.
They have to rotate.
Epps is looking in the area, but the rest of his team rotating quite slowly. The Dragon does now fall as they start to rotate over to this fight. 4K on the Dragon.
Be here in time.
It's just going to go down.
Kills.
Objective trade completed here.
What can you do?
Whoa, Kaisa's getting hooked up. Gonna get eaten that stun as well. Flayed back into the team. Does have the flash. The rest of the team has arrived. We could see a team fight break out. Here's the Shen ultimate. They're looking for the engage. They're into the middle of the fight, but now it's the Volibear into the backline.
Inferno trigger.
But the rest of the Bandits are running for the hills. T-Sizzle's the last man alive. Actually, Kaisa just barely gonna survive as well. Bullet Prince takes out Pastry, and Bullet Prince will be taking the double kill home as well. It's the Mountain Dragon for the squad. The Baron does go over to the Bandits, but they're gonna get wiped here on the back of the fight.
But to make reference to Blackpink's song, Oblivion very well playing with fire there, because that was a razor thin edge. They get there after the Baron has already fallen, and they did not even use the showstopper there. I was worried that they would at most just pick up one person, and then the rest of the Bandit team would get off scot-free. But you deny those fair Baron buffs. Never mind, Yo-Yo Man coming in does have the Stream Shop, does have Flash.
is going to interrupt the lantern there. Bullet Prince has his ultimate, but not able to get the stacks up. It's the shutdown into the hands of Yo-Yo Man, and he is on this late game. To land, actually, Kaisa has to be a bit careful. Takes a couple turret shots, is going to be all right here.
Keep in mind, though, damage on this Kaisa is very important right now because Slider, the only one with the Baron buff, does not have any innate sustain outside of that Ravenous Hunter, and it can mean some things for this push. Never mind that, though, that is going to be the mid lane tower picked up.
Wave clear on Oblivion side is pretty decent here with the Orianna. Volibear helping out there just a little bit. Looks like Bandits are just going to swoop into the jungle, pick up some of these resources, maybe grab this bot lane tower as they continue to try and grow this gold lead that they have now acquired for themselves.
And even though like this outer tower and the bot side is much more of a luxury gold tower, it is still very well appreciated. It lets you get this sizable gold lead, as that is a really good hook. Bullet Prince
coming through. Oh my goodness, T-Zizzle has to use the taunt to get away.
Slider,
but now
what
they're
can you do?
Getting engaged on. Oh, that's such a nice hook into the shockwave. In the later Slider, it's going to be Nautilus falling as well as he tries to save his 80 carry, but a couple pickoffs coming through. The hook from Bardo support, really the difference on that one.
Bardo support with two really great hooks there. The first one to immediately just spot Sizzle and go, by instinct, I am going to hook this fool. We are going to burst this fool. Sure, you don't finish off Sizzle, but then you bait the team fight. And most importantly, you hook Slider underneath your bot lane inner turret. You hook Slider to stand for that Mon check shockwave. And I don't care how fed you are on this Kaisa, you are dying to tower shockwave.
Absolutely. Might even die to the full Orianna combo even without the tower there. So really clutch hook from Bardo support, finding the correct pickoffs there. And that has shored up the gold lead here just a little bit. 26 minutes in. It is a 2k gold lead, but as we talked a little bit about last game, not really too much to write home about. Looks like Epps is going to be collapsed on a bit here. Has that stride breaker to try and get away, but they're going to actually continue the chase here. He doesn't have any allies on this half of the map. That's going to be the dredge line landing in. 3 members are here. Suplex coming down. Has the face breaker to buy some time, but it doesn't matter. Punchy, punchy boy.
Mid lane, though. Another hook.
And stun coming through. Really nice taunt onto the back line. T-Sizzle's blocking some of those autos with the W field, but the hook comes through. The CPR fresh is in. Now it's the Bullet Tornado.
Hey, Bullet Prince!
Oh my goodness, Bullet Prince, you went too deep. Pastry arrives in time, and Slider is going to be turning the kill back around.
And that is one of the biggest sins of League. Letting a Shen taunt you under tower. It's not over yet. Bardo's support's gonna drop here. Is Monchek able to get out? That is the big question. He is already dropping so fast to this full tank Hecarim face rush. You might be able to get him out. The Shockwave most certainly gonna get him out. But giving up those massive 3 kills right before the dragon that you did not have to give up, that is inexcusable.
Yeah, this game, as you said, still on a knife's edge, back and forth action here. It looks like those pickoffs, as you say, are going to stop the dragon stacking from Oblivion. We'll see if the Bandits can scoop that one up. It's spawning in 10 seconds. Bardo support will be on the map, but it should be a while before they can join the fray here at the dragon. So it's going to be 3 dragons to 2, assuming that the Bandits can pick this one up.
Yeah, and the biggest thing, though, is like, it's going to be another 5 minutes till this potential Earth Soul. And triple Earth Dragon plus Earth Soul on this set, on this Volibear, who kind of have to run at you and eat a lot of this damage, is massive. Triple Mountain Dragon, well, especially the Mountain Soul Shield onto Bullet Princess Samira, is also just so massive, since Samira, as that very hyper-aggressive 80 carry, it lives life on the edge. And having that extra shield for that cushioning can help out so much. But look at this setup. Normac actually 6th sensing out of that danger thanks to the sweeper. And that would have been a really huge pick here with sub 20 seconds till the Baron. Sandy United is up.
Stand United is available. Yeah, as you say, Baron will be the next objective that these teams are going to be looking to fight over. 4 minutes on that Dragon, as you said, so we're not going to get any action around that one, but I expect that to be an explosive fight as well. You talked about how important it is for Oblivion, and with that in mind, that means it's even more important for the other side, the Bandits here, to deny that soul going over. You talk about the Samira a little bit, that extra shield for her. She already has the Bloodthirster in her inventory, so that combined with that Mountain Dragon shield as well, like you say, is going to be absolutely terrifying.
Because it's not necessarily the bonus resistances for the Samira. Like, we hover over her, look, oh wow, you're getting 4 bonus magic resist from the Mountain Dragons. Like, that's kind of okay to deal with Flat Pen, but it's not really anything to write home about. However, though, shield though is something to write home about. We won't have to worry about that though for another 3 minutes. This Baron is the big thing here, and importantly, Data Master, even though he's 4-1-9 on this Volibear, even though he's made so many moves to help his team get ahead, he's actually behind a level. He's behind about 40 CS, and that might be a little bit of a important deal if we do get to the Smite fight. Bardo support is playing with danger. It's level 11 Thresh, not exactly known for being able to tank 4 members of the enemy team. See what happens. There's the charge up.
Just a little bit of chip damage onto the Nautilus there as the teams are going to part ways. But yeah, like you say, Pastry with a little bit of a lead is going to have that extra damage on the Smite. Probably just a bit of a Hecarim difference there, able to burn down his jungle exceptionally fast. But yeah, in those Smite fights, definitely look out for those 50-50s because they could go slightly in Pastry's favor.
And this is going to be a game that explodes very soon. I don't know where it'll explode. I mean, we can assume here, Lindor, that it's probably either going to be the Baron or the next Dragon, but it's going to explode at some point here because this is a pile of TNT here. And there is a match somewhere on the Rift.
Game 3, everything on the line. You can feel the tension rising, both these teams, as this game gets longer and longer. Those death timers get scarier and scarier. So really, a misstep can provide fatal. But for now, both these teams just looking for that opening, looking for that TNT to explode, as you say. And once they find the match, it's going to be a matter of who can take that fight and really take the advantage here.
Yeah. It is gonna just be that tension in the river, though. The Baron has been up for a while, and it's now at the point that... Oh, never mind. Pastry
is going to get out. Mesa has not been spotted on this top side here just yet. They have Shen with some split push power here on the bot side. Of course, has that Stand United to join. Trying to get some chip damage onto this tower. It looks like Epps is going to channel that recall and try to answer on the bot side. But Gopher, we've got Dragon spawning in a minute. They could try to rotate through this bot side, and she's Zizzle. He has to be careful not to overstay here. He's getting collapsed on.
Yeah, and if we do hit this point where both the Dragon and Baron are up, that is going to be an time to be alive. Never mind, Sizzle is caught out.
You run for your life, Mr. Shen. It doesn't matter. Gets the taunt, but the damage is going to come through. Oh, actually a really nice flash, but it doesn't matter. WQ from the Moncheck grabs that kill out.
And that is a big pickup. The Shen down for 45 seconds. Baron's still up. Sub 20 seconds until this Dragon's up. Are we going to see another Baron for Dragon trade? Keep in mind, without Sizzle, if they really want to, Bullet Prince solos out this Dragon while the rest of the team goes up and just distracts on this Baron. A Shockwave after the Baron. Debuff is more than enough to really go through them, but he's going to be that big objective trade. The long-term Dragon Soul versus the short-term Baron buff, with the gold lead already secured for the side of the Bandits. He can use this and this temporary boost in pushing power with this Baron to potentially crack open the base and just garner a massive gold lead here.
Yeah, like you say, it is Bandits with the gold lead, but if I'm Oblivion, I take that trade every day of the week. Mountain Soul, we already talked about it. It's huge for this squad. They've got that beefy front line that really benefits from it, the shield for their AD carry, and even their Orianna providing some extra safety for them. And like you say, Baron could be used to break the base. We'll see if the Bandits can get that done, because if they don't, if this Baron buff goes by the wayside without them expanding on this gold lead, then that trade just really isn't worth anything for them.
Because I really wish spectator mode and League in general did a better job of telling you, because with this triple Mountain Dragon, I am curious to see just how much more beefy it is making this Volibear set, because they are starting to pile on a lot of extra resistances. Data Master, we hover over him, 235 armor, 145 MR, only gonna get tankier from here. Apps, sitting on that 185 armor, 118 MR. Bardo support gonna also have some decent resist. And then Bullet Prince and Moncheck are really gonna appreciate that shield for any potential burst from the Hack Room, from the Kaisa, from this Azir.
Well, we keep talking about that explosive team fight that will really break the game open, or maybe even end it at this point, as we are just cresting the 35-minute mark. It was, of course, the Mountain Soul going over, but there was no team fight to be had there just yet, where you're getting 3 and even 4 item power spikes coming through here, or starting to come through for pretty much everyone on the Rift right now. And 35 minutes in, death timers are long, team fights, the execution in these is going to be all important.
And another big thing to point out here is that even though with the Baron buff, they can really look to force things, like it's 35, nearly 36 minutes in the game. They're using Baron buff to get a bot lane inner turret. You really want to have that base already cracked open to really force that home. You want to be getting inhibitors. They certainly can. They have the wave built up here. They have all these members. Will they be able to get it though here? Because any spare hook can mean a death sentence for either of these teams, literally.
25 more seconds on that Baron buff. They have these minions chipping away, but I don't think it's going to be enough to break the base, as you said. So they use it to get this tower. They're 5-man stacking here. Maybe one more wave that they can push in, but I don't think they're going to be able to find the base, find crack in this inhib just yet. Like you say, the engage from Oblivion here is very, very scary.
And that is big, because with that Baron buff, they get a bot lane inner turret. That is in exchange for a enemy Mountain Soul on a beefy front line that just got beefier. Look at the top lane. You don't even have prio there. That's pushing towards you. You're going to have to answer that. And that definitely is a bad trick. By no means, though, are Bandit out of this. They still have the gold lead. They have the Kaisa. They have the Azir. They have already hit their hard scaling point. They've hit their hyper scale point.
All right, so we are just waiting for that big team fight to break out. We keep talking about it. It's going to happen here eventually, Gopher. But I just want to look a little bit here onto Oblivion's side, because like you say, they find themselves at a gold deficit, but they have this Mountain Soul. So how do you expect them, or how do you want them to try and leverage this maybe into a gold lead for themselves and then get the game win from there?
So even though this is a noticeable gold lead, we are reaching that point where gold leads are starting to not really matter. Because we have people sitting on 3-4 items, some on 4.5 items, and you can be 10,000 gold ahead of your individual lane opponent, but if you're both sitting on 6 items, then what does it matter here, realistically speaking? And this Mountain Dragon is going to keep giving that insane value. It will keep giving you that invisible gold buff, because we're factoring in the bonus gold from this Earth Dragon, this Earth Soul. This is probably a much closer game. It would be a one hell of a shot in the dark for me to give an exact guess for how much it is worth. A minute 20 though, till the Elder Dragon and this Baron. We said it last time. The Mountain Soul and the Baron were up here. Maybe this is the time we finally see that big 5 versus 5 team fight where everything just flies around, fireworks going everywhere. It's the 4th of July in March.
Yeah, we can tell that both these teams really want this game. Neither of them willing to overextend and make the mistake that may lose them the game. But like you say, these big objectives starting to spawn Elder Dragon could be massive in this game. And right now it looks like both these teams are posturing towards that bot side river, looking for that Dragon. Shen and Epps up on this top side, looking for those teleports, looking for the Stand United to join the fight. Right now, it is T-Sizzle getting the better of the push, at least in the top side here.
Yo-Yo Man teleporting bot, and since we do have a brief bit of free time, if you and the Observer could go over bullet prints real quickly with the Guardian Angel, with the plated steel caps, actually sitting at like 170 armor and going up even higher depending on the situation. That is a lot of armor. That is like a tank's worth of armor on a very...
This could be the engage Gopher. It's the chem tank in. The stun is going to land, but that Hecarim's pretty tanky. Not necessarily the
teleport,
man that they want. Looks like the teleports is going to join from T-Sizzle.
Cryo.
Did just
Slider's all on his own.
Maybe looking for the flank on the Kaisa, but needs to rejoin back with his team. Is coming down. Round 2 coming out from Data Master. Hooks will land, trying to deny the engage. Oh, this is the ult into the backside. The fight is going to go for. Here it is. Here we go. Here we go. It is going to be sent into the backline. Haymaker to some time. He's flashing away. Shockwave doesn't land onto anyone.
Slider. That's 2.
Slider is going to be. Oh, it's a triple taunt. But it doesn't matter as T-Sizzle is just going to go down. Hook just going to go wide. Bullet Print is going forward. He's into the resurrection. Can they get this kill? Golden goes the Kaisa. Oh, and there it is. The ace comes through. Could this be the end? Go for the fight. 30-second death timers, 50-second death timers. It is Bandits trying to run it in. They're heading into the bot lane. They have the push here with the minions. 40 seconds to end this game. They've got their eyes on the prize. They've got their eyes on the series win. They've got their eyes on the first place spot. Inhib is going to be the first thing to fall here. They're going for the Nexus towers now. 30 seconds on the Orianna, 30 seconds on Bullet Prints here on the Samira. Damage coming through onto the first Nexus tower. The wave is dwindling just a little bit, but Nautilus wants to tank things up. They want to look for the end Eps in 5 seconds. Data Master in 3, but the damage coming through onto the Nexus. It's going to be enough. It's going to be Bandits grabbing game 3 and Bandits taking the series.
It was a very hard-fought series, though. That last fight, kind of tooth and nail, but the Slider, the Yo-Yo Man, had scaled up. There wasn't enough threat on them. They're able to free fire. They're able to melt through these people. Pastry able to just go in, CC that back line, keep them preoccupied with his dummy thick booty, as they say. But that is going to be the victory eventually. By no means is Oblivion Esports out of this. They are still very firmly in that 3rd place. The top 4 will go over to the playoffs, and with how the current standings are, they're more than likely to still go. But this might have repercussions if these teams do ever meet again, especially if it is in playoffs.
Yeah, like you say, they could face off again in those playoffs. Both these teams are a lock-in for the playoffs, but it is Bandits grabbing the head-to-head victory here today. They took game 1. Good game 2 from Oblivion to bring us to this game 3, but look at the damage here from the Azir. Yo-Yo Man dishing it out, doing what it takes to grab the game 3 victory, and Bandits are going to be walking away feeling good about this one.
It is definitely a hard-fought victory, but a victory nonetheless. If you're able to beat the competition like this, well, keep in mind there's probably another team sharing that top spot, and you might be having to face them pretty soon yourself. So hey, if you're able to beat 1-6-0 or 1-5-0 team, that gives you some good odds going into a 6-0 team.
Gives you some good odds and definitely gives you some confidence heading into the playoffs, knowing that they can take down one of those squads that's up there at the top of the standings with them. So good on Bandits. Congratulations to them for getting the series win. And I want to pose a question to you here, Gopher. Who's your MVP for this 3-game series?
It's really hard to call because, I mean, with just how long it's been, with how everybody has kind of had their chance to shine, like, you could call it any way or a lot of ways potentially. We saw some great play from almost everyone on both sides. So flip a coin or roll a dice, whichever player it lands on, really.
All right. Well, I'm going to give my MVP to Yo-Yo Man. I think you're right. A lot of good candidates here, a lot of good play across the board. From everyone, really, like you said, but I think Yo-Yo Man in game 1, the Ahri really doing a lot to secure that victory. And then here in game 2, some of those Azir ultimates in these team fights really putting in a lot of work and carrying his team to the victory. So good job there from Giants. Any last words before we close things out here, Gopher?
Thank you, Gala, once again for being our streamer. Thank you, Risen, for hosting this, of course, since Risen is our favorite organization. I guess thanks to you for being my co-caster. Thanks to Zuki for being another co-caster. And thanks to everyone who came out and watched tonight.
Yeah, big shout out to Gala for the great production, Risen, of course. And thanks to you, Gopher. That was a lot of fun. So that is going to do it for us here today. Thank you all for joining us for this Sunday afternoon matchup. It was a fun one to cast. It was a fun one to watch, I'm sure. I do believe it's a bye week next week, but 2 weeks from now, it will be another matchup. So we will see you then. Have a good rest of your weekend, everybody, and we'll see you next time.